Well, this is where the music would play, but damn it, my whole soundboard just froze up, so I got nothing. I'm just mashing buttons. Nothing's happening. I can't even close the damn thing. So, TGIF, welcome to Have No Sphere, blah, 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 blah. That's a great way to piss me off. Just first rattle out of the box. But welcome, everybody. We are here. I guess I'll just be loading that up while we talk. Let me go ahead and get this stuff switched over so that we're actually doing something. This is ridiculous.
Walt, start singing.
Right. Sing me a song, Walter. Entertain me.
Ladders. Hey.
Beautiful. Well, TGI.
Can't wake me up. These vocal cords have to warm up and stretch out before I can hit those epic notes. But yeah, TG, I, flat.
Something.
It's not my fault, Liz. I just want to put that out there ahead of time because they're going to start pointing fingers and.
Oh, fingers have already been pointed. We were all set to go, Liz. We were all set. And we were just waiting on Walt. Actually, he did show up because of Walt.
Sorry, you're breaking up a little bit there while my soundboard reloads.
Hopefully there it is, but oh, I hear music.
Pretty sure that's not me.
Oh, I see the man making it happen.
I love that one.
That's one of those rare ones that I managed to find for free and not get smacked every time we play it.
Dude, I used to hear this driving to work, and
Right, me too, dude. Every time my show would start, I'd be like, "What?" Banging my head.
Yeah,
King hitting the anvil. King.
All right, let me try this. Let me see if this shit works here. That ain't me either.
Dude even got a little remix in the end. Thank you, Mike. That was awesome.
Here's a message of importance to millions of people who are continually pale and weak and run down. This will tell you that these conditions are often caused by a deficiency of iron. The iron you need to keep you physically fit and mentally alert. Medical studies show that 2 out of 3 women and many, many men lack the daily iron your body requires.
For you.
In a form your body can easily use and put to work.
For you.
Every dose gives you more than your daily minimum iron requirement.
We are awake. We are not alone. We are striving for more.
So if you're not getting the iron your body needs, if you feel weak, run down, and are easily upset,
for you.
Start taking iron today.
And now we're kicking off. That feels a little bit better. Welcome to Have No Sphere, right here in the Iron Realm Media YouTube channel. What an awkward fucking kickoff. You know what the problem is? It's probably because I didn't have work today. And I'm not just like rushed to get everything done. I'm just taking my sweet ass time, not even paying that much attention, but we are on time reasonably. Look, we're less than a half hour late. That's not too bad. But we have got a really exciting show. And if you had tuned in to the Ironworks on Tuesday morning, you will know tonight's guest. Or if you have tuned in to the Melodome with Awesome Austin, you would know our guest, Mike LaBrash, because he has come up with the, not Yellow Wolf, damn it. The artist's name will come to me, but he did Astronauts in the Ocean, and he did a nice, awesome little video clip with some lip syncing going along with it. So Mike, welcome.
Really loves that one, man.
It's a good one. That's talent. What you got there.
Thank you, sir.
But welcome to Have No Sphere. We're glad to have you on here.
How's it going, everybody?
What's up, Mike?
Thanks for having me, man. Good to see you, Zach, Walt, Josh, Cammy.
So I don't know if we got into this on the show Tuesday. How long have you been a flat earther? When did you come to the realization?
You know, that's a tough one because I tell people all the time, you know, I was so alone in that journey. It's tough to say whether I decided or not because I needed more evidence since I had figured it out on my own, basically. It came from listening to, so an answer to your question is probably about 2 to 3 years. I'd say 3 years. I've been a firm flat earther where I'm comfortable telling people about it is about 2 years. So I hid for a year after I figured it out. I found out about people, you know, other people that knew about it. Like, and then I started to see like a video like ODD TV. You know, when I first thought about it, I wasn't typing in the words flat earth right away. I had never even thought about the crap, man. I never even, the idea had never entered me.
Did you have that first initial thought like, what the fuck? Flat earth? Are these people retarded? I did.
Absolutely. I did. I was like, that's insane. That's stupid. I mean, I sucked up the whole space thing and I questioned it at times when I was growing up, but I fed it, but I ate it up. You know, I still enjoyed the imagination of space. Spaceships and going to other planets and finding new, and, you know, humanity's exploration and for the greater of mankind, you know, like I was all on board.
Yeah, I think we all were.
It was sad.
Do you have any trouble watching movies about space?
No, I have trouble with, at first I had trouble with my kids. They're 4 and 5 and 6. I had trouble with them watching crap that said space, which is basically every fucking cartoon and every single show that the kids watch. I mean, it's sad the amount of brainwash. I mean, these people are ruthless to do it to children this way, but yeah, I've never had a problem with it. And now that they're a little bit older and they both know that, you know, they know, what does it look like? The ground we're standing on. And it's like, you know, they get it. So, no, I don't care anymore. But yeah, when I first got into it, I was like, you know, fuck space and got angry. Like, look, I would look up at the moon and get angry, you know, even though I can see it and I know that whatever's there is there, but I would just be angry at the whole thought of space after that. The first time I realized it.
I still haven't seen a NASA movie like Gravity or any of those that are like NASA based.
Now that would piss me off. And no, I haven't seen like the Tom Hanks Apollo. I never watched that. And that Gravity movie with the chick. I didn't
see the Martian science and the shit out of it movie. I didn't see that. I didn't see any of that propaganda stuff.
No, but I'll watch like Star Trek or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Science fiction, not their fiction.
When they put the Tesla in space, and I was trying to tell my dad, I was like, hold on, man, listen, I think something's up. I was like, look, I think this is the best TV commercial ever made. I think this is the smartest TV commercial ever made. You know, like, let's not get fooled here too quickly. And now who's one of the richest people in the world? You know, like it doesn't fool me anymore. Like I had told you guys on the show last week, it's like, I've seen all these movies and I've seen all these actors. You're not going to fool me now.
Exactly. So What was the first video?
ODD.
Was it ODD?
Yeah, of
21?
course. No, it was Planet. It was the hour-long one, Planet Flat Earth 2. And he updated it to where I think the year is different than the actual year it was published, or maybe he edited it or had to re-upload it or something. But it was 2 or 3 years ago.
And then did you spend time in people's comment sections or in the chat for a while before you started?
No, I mean, absolutely not. Like I said, for the first year, I was hiding it. You know, I was hiding the thought of it. I was like, who am I going to tell? I tried to tell my father, we don't speak, because he wouldn't give me the 2 hours to listen to what I had to say. He drove 3 hours. Hey, Dad, like for months. Hey, Dad, man, I got something real fucking important I need to talk to you about. Like, dude, this is a big one. I really need you to come and listen to me, right? So he drives 3 hours and he comes down and we sit down. I'm like, look, you're probably not going to like what I have to say. I don't want you to believe me. I just want you to listen, you know? And so we start out with the ODD, or I think it was the Sandy Hook. And I was like, look, this lady is in 10 different interviews with the same hairdo, the same glasses, the same lady. And I want you to understand what a crisis actor is. And he was like, no, Mike, you know, come on, maybe this is just a doctored media outlet. And I'm like, no, you can look this stuff up, man. Like, come on, like, please just give me some time to look at it. And so we sat there and he gave me like an hour, and he didn't want to listen to me. So I was like, get the fuck out. You know, you can't even give me 2 hours of your time. It took him longer to drive down here to see me than it did for him to not want to listen to it.
Now, was he open?
I got a lot of that doctored stuff too.
Was he open to your stuff before you called him down? Like, was he open-minded at all, or was this sort of going to be the?
No, he subscribes to Popular Mechanics, and when I try to tell him, he worked for the cable company, right? So there's a problem. The fact that I told him he had a hand in putting a brainwash box in everyone's house, like, he didn't like that at all. And I was like, satellites aren't real, man. Undersea cables, bro. And he's like, Mike, I worked for Media General Cable. I know guys who work for the satellite part. And I'm like, Dad, I'm not saying satellites aren't real. I'm saying they're not flying around in space. And he just didn't want to hear it, you know, and it's just pure cognitive dissonance. But that's what I'm saying. Like, and imagine not knowing that anyone else believed what I'm trying to tell my dad. I didn't know that there was another person that even knew what I was trying to say. That's why I felt it was so scary, because I thought I was the only person.
Wow, that's wild.
It is kind of wild. And I don't know if anybody else has been through that, but yeah, it was tough. I thought I was losing my fucking mind. And then when I finally found out that I type in the words flat earth somewhere, you know, obviously so 3 years ago was like when Google was really strong censoring crap right after I could find ODD. It wasn't hard after that. But to get to him in the first place was a tough road, because I had to the reason that I found out about flat earth is I heard PBS saying rocket, moon, sun, and stars or something like that over and over and over and over when my kids were watching it. And so I would try to type in those words with PBS. I was trying to link PBS to shit. And like the rabbit hole started from there. I mean, obviously the 9/11 is what really started me off. But with flat earth specifically, I knew that I had to find out why PBS was saying those words over and over. I was like, that's a red flag for me. Those are trigger words. They want you to hear that word a lot. And now that I know what propaganda is, I see right through that shit. You know, it's like blatant in our face, and people are so oblivious to it. I was oblivious to it. I feel so humble now to know it, you know, and to see how many people don't know it is sad.
Yeah, it kind of takes some of your faith in humanity, doesn't it?
Yes. I call humans stupid. I believe we're not as smart as they make us out to be. We're just not that bright. There's some of us that are, and I'm not claiming to be one of them. I'm just saying there are definitely intelligent people out there, but but the gullibleness and the ignorance and the way we were brought into this system,
the
trust in secondary, third party shit, it hurts my head.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. And smart people, people that, like you said, your father, it's crazy to think that they can't see it, because that they have this intelligence about them. My mom was the same way. I always thought my mom was so smart, and then I started showing her this stuff, and she was getting it, and all of a sudden it was, well, why would they lie? And it's like, it doesn't matter why they're lying.
That tense up frustration, like, you've been trying to tell me all this stuff my whole life, now I'm just trying to help you too. And he's like, I don't need any help, and I know many people have been through that part, and that's why a lot of us don't have family anymore, because once you realize who you are and once you realize the truth, there, you can't turn back, man. That's not possible to go backwards.
Some things you can't unsee. You just can't.
I think the next time somebody asks me why they would lie, we need to first establish that they are. So we can get to the possible reasons why. I could name off a couple dozen possible reasons why they might lie, but can we first establish that they are?
Exactly.
Do you think they're lying? You're going to ask me why would they lie? Let's first, do you think they're lying, or do you just believe everything they say? And then they have to make that choice. Okay, well, I guess they do lie. Okay, now let me throw this one at you. Why would they lie? Because they can. I mean, again, we can name off 24 reasons just off the top of our head without digging down as to why.
And it's funny. Lie. It's funny you say that. My wife says, I know they lie. I know the government lies. And she says, I believe in some of the things you say, Mike. It's just some of it is really far-fetched, like flat Earth. And it's like, well, how can you believe this and not believe? And it really is frustrating to see that some people are kind of like on this cusp of really getting it, but not. They don't want to let go of the world they're in. And I can see why. It's so scary at first, man. You have got to have some balls of steel into every single person that's gone through it. That's why I make memes, man. That's the whole point of my humor and my trying to get my message across. Yes, some of them are to try to wake people up, like the difference in the rocket ship that takes off from Earth and the stupid lander that took off from the moon. Obviously, I try to wake people up, but most of it has a lot of humor in it because this shit's tough. And I want people to understand, hey, man, I'm out here. I'm out here with you. Like, let's laugh about this shit now. Like, I get it. It sucks, dude. It sucks because life is not what you thought it was. It's a fucking lie. It's go cry in the corner for a little while. Let's wake up and let's laugh about it. Let's get back to life, dude, because it's amazing now. And the gifts I've been given and how life is turning out for me and it's manifesting and synchronicity and everything is just so beautiful.
Yeah, it's like so many things. People are scared to take that first step. But once you do take that first step, your whole life changes. And we've talked about this before. A lot of people that are open to flat Earth have had a problem with an addiction of some sort in their life that they've gotten over. They sat down with themselves and said, hey, there's a problem here. We need to fix this. And that's not an easy thing to do for most people. For some reason, just admitting that, what you're doing is wrong or what you're thinking is wrong is not an easy step to take. And I think getting over an addiction, you have to have that step in there. And that's one of the things that flat earthers have already done before. And I think that's one of the reasons why people who have had addictions are more willing to take that first step, I'll say.
I agree 100%. That is my story to a T. I am 3 years sober of alcohol, and without quitting alcohol, there's no possibility I'd have this awakening. Yeah, I'd still be a truther, kind of, or, know that something's up, but there's no chance that I would have seen through all this shit without dropping that. And I'm not saying that has to be everybody's story, but like you said, we all had something, and I had to dig deep inside myself and go through that self journey That was the key. That was the ticket right there.
Yeah, it's not an easy step to take. Now I've gotten over a couple different addictions, and yeah, it does get easier to admit that you're wrong and what you're doing isn't right. So when Flat Earth came around, I mean, I just thought it was dumb at first, but after it took 2 videos. My first video was Math Powerland, sitting there on the couch talking about NASA. And I was like, wow, that's an interesting story. Okay. But there wasn't really any proof. It was just a guy sitting there, you know, no pictures, no nothing, him just talking, telling the story. I'll give it one more video. And then I saw Jaronism's video of Josh Nowicki and the guy saying this is a mirage. And that did it for me because I live right there.
You're talking about the mirage over the Chicago?
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen
Wow.
that skyline.
That definitely helped. I mean,
Michigan
all of those
City.
kind of things, like the Robert Simmons saying, you know, like it has to be voted, you know, that all that, but that, you know, but those are in a lot of the videos, you know, but you're saying that's right down the street from you?
Yeah, I grew up in northern Indiana at the southern end of Lake Michigan.
So as soon as he showed it, you were like, yeah, you can.
I was like, wait a minute, I've seen this like 100 times sitting on. Yeah, my uncle had a boat out Michigan City Yacht Club. We used to go out there pretty much every day in the summer, but then every weekend, you know, until the boat was out of the water. And we'd sit on the lighthouse, and Chicago was 40 miles away, 38.8 miles to be exact. And me and my cousin would sit there and smoke pot and look at the lights of Chicago, all of them.
See, I live something pretty much similar. I'm very lucky to live here at the beach, and I can tell every time I'm at the beach. You know, I can see 20 miles across the bay. There's a Chesapeake Bay, and I'm on Chicks Beach side. I'm on the Virginia side, and I can see all the way over to the Maryland side, basically. And I can see the lights still. That's 25. The bridge, the bridge is 21 miles long. Yeah, I shouldn't be able to see that from sitting in my chair at the beach. So it's wild that, you know, so many people have the ability to go down and prove it to themselves. That's where that shit comes in, where like my dad, I can bring you to the evidence, but I can't make you think.
Yeah, it's hard, man.
And that's why I say we're so rare, because the intelligence has to be there. That cognitive thinking and the alcohol was what was suppressing that cognitive thinking for me. My addiction to other crap other than spirituality and life itself and connection with everything that is took away from that cognitive thinking. It took my cognitive thinking from me. It took who I was away.
And there goes Cammie. Cammie's having some microphone issues. Something going on with her headset. She's here. We're not just being dickheads and making sure she doesn't talk and talking over her and not giving her a chance. No, she is having technical difficulties. We're going to see if Bob or maybe Jaron can't give a hand or something. We'll see. Hopefully she'll pop back in, or she just gave up and said, F it. I'm going to go make some coffee, roll a couple smokes, and hang out in the garage for a bit. You never can tell. So your wife's not really on board. Is your wife, what is it your wife thinks the government lies about? What is it she's willing to accept? Where does she draw that line?
It's the, like you said, willing to, it's like the comforts that she's not willing to sacrifice kind of thing. She's willing to get the vaccine if they tell her that she's going to lose her job. And she's like, well, they're forcing me. And I'm like, stop saying that word, please. No one's forcing you to do anything unless they put their hands on you, put a gun to your head, and put you down on the ground and put it inside you. We have other options. We can go other routes. There's, you know, I'm like, all these nurses are quitting, and, you know, and it's just like, she thinks that I take it too far. She believes me to a certain extent and then says, then all these people wouldn't be doing it. And I'm like, Well, then look at this evidence. Look at all these people dying. Look at the side effects. Like, why would you put something in you that has the side effect of death? Well, it's not that common.
Yeah, show her the
And I'm
7,000.
like, are you kidding me? It's not that common. Like, that's your response?
7,000 Mayo workers.
She won't listen to the numbers. She's like, I think the numbers are fudged, but by how much? You know, like, she just doesn't get it.
But no, I mean, 7,000 of these workers quit that worked at the Mayo Clinic because they refused the jab.
Yes.
7,000 doctors and nurses. That's a lot of people refusing.
That's a stadium and a half. That's 2 stadiums.
Yeah. That's insane.
No, I keep seeing different numbers, and I will say, Liz, that is the highest. But I've seen some pretty good compilation videos of, I say good, some heartbreaking compilation videos of footballers out there on the field clutching their chest and collapsing onto the grass. Live. Referees,
people in the stands, news anchors.
Liz is saying
you're normalizing it as if the stroke, they've got oral pill for children for heart attack. Like, this is the first time this has ever happened. And like, here's how to get your kid vaccine 5 to 11, along with some heart attack medication. We're like, what?
It's insane.
It is insanity. Like, it's pure insanity. And if we don't rise up and do something about it, it's going to be worse. It's going to get a lot worse.
That's just mind-boggling. How that is not a giant alarm for somebody. How they don't see them, like, maybe that's
not even just like that face you just made. Like, at least the ability to question things is gone. That's what it is. That's why no one will ever get it, because they're not even questioning it. They've accepted it as fact as long as it's told to them that it's fact.
Well, I think they're scared too.
That could be it too.
And that would make sense.
They have a real fear of their government.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they don't question. Why would they question? They've been taught their entire lives not to question. The fact that we, the handful of folks sitting here listening to this or participating in this, or just even all the flat earthers, as big a number as that is these days, that's still a pretty small percentage of people. And the fact that we've come this far and been able to ask this many questions and think for ourselves even this much, I think is nothing short of miraculous. I think you could probably point, I mean, maybe it's all algorithms, right? Maybe YouTube let us hear. Maybe none of us can trace back our ability to question since our very first memories. But something tells me that the creator made people this way, and it's been stifled. That's part of the public education system, or education system in general. Even if you get into universities, it's all bought and paid for. So you learn what we teach you, and we teach what they pay for. And that's just the way it is. So everybody's just regurgitating whatever the highest bidder can put out there that's going to fund the school.
And the thing about school is when you grow up in a generation, right? When you go to the bar, who do you hang out with? People of your age group. Come in. All right, hold on one second. Sorry,
No, you do your thing. I really dug the old heads, even growing up. My sister was a little bit older, but I was always hanging out with older people, even in the Marine Corps. I got the fake military ID. So I could cruise up into the bar saying I'm 22. So I'm hanging out with lots of older people. And that's just always been what it was. Potheads, I like the old heads. I was the old hippie kind of grungy people, not any of the guys my age. They're just too, I don't know. I've always kind of not hung with people my own age for the most part. And I I've not been to the bar in years. Couldn't tell you last time I hung out in a bar. And it's getting hard to determine who people my age even are. I mean, surely it's not the old looking fellers, but Christ, it can't be them young looking fellers either. That's a problem with being old and immature.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Oh,
I know I haven't been to a bar in so long. Last time I went, I was looking around. I was like, these are all children in here. What is this?
That's
They
what I
all
was going to
think they
say
were
is like when you're
underage.
hanging out in the bar with the people that you went to school with, you all know the exact same thing. So nobody's on a different level. You're all told the same dumb propaganda and you all believe in the same propaganda. So nobody's questioning anything. Without the education system, then you're going to have your questioners. Then you're going to have your people going, wait a minute, that's not what I saw or that's not what I experienced. You don't even have a chance to experience anything in the field when you're a kid because you're stuck, basically forced into a prison of education for them. You know, you're forced to write it down or you don't move into the next level of society. You're held back. And it's a whole brainwash from the start to the end.
Sorry, I had to pull that up on screen because it's small text. I could have sworn Martin Haley just jumped in and said, damn, I'm 18. Better than never, though. Hi, guys. Because we were talking about people's ages. And, you know, I thought, surely that's not right. Surely Martin Haley is not 18. So I had to pop it up because something just didn't look right about the 18. An L and an 8. Gotcha. Yes, better late than never. Welcome, Martin. Sorry to interrupt everybody and bring the show to a screeching halt just because I don't have my glasses with me, essentially, and I can't see very well. Sorry. Continue. Yep, we all got nothing. That's sweet. All right. Shall we call her?
Cammy, I can't hear you, Cammy. Again.
Oh, no, there she goes.
She was asking if we could hear her, I think, and we couldn't.
Dang it. Shout out to Miss Mays as well. Good to see you here in chat. I was out there hanging over in her chat the other day. And
she's going to get it worked out. I think Cammy's going to get it worked out before the end of the show.
I think she will, or at least right at the very
I'm betting
end.
on it. I'm willing it to happen.
But just listening to Miss Mays and Buddha talk, it was really, really interesting because Buddha does a lot of energy work. So listening to the two of them interact, because she's just going crazy. And I know Miss Mays does energy work too. And so she's got all this energy. She's pumped up. She doesn't know where it's coming from. He's over there. He's feeling it. And he's just, you know, trying to get right in there and try to feel exactly what it is and where it's coming from. It was just a really cool interaction. So if you guys haven't already, head over there to Miss May's channel and subscribe because there's some really cool interactions going on over there. Sorry, that's me stomping, triggering my dogs. So it does feel like there's been some really weird energy. I know Jonathan has talked about it before. And it's sort of chicken and the egg thing. Do you start changing up everything you're doing and throwing off all your schedules and changing that energy up and letting that weird new energy sort of backfill on the pressure so that when you hop back into your old routine, you sort of have these new eyes and this new energy, and that new energy goes forth? Or if as the new energy comes, it starts throwing everybody off just a little bit, and we feel that change in the energy, and it just feels like something's kind of off. And listening to Miss Mays and Buddha talk, and just listening to all these other people talk in these live chats, that there's something very palpable sort of happening. And we're all feeling it. And for me, it's that creaking of the bow when you pull the string taut. You draw that bow back and you can hear all that tension and all that pressure and all that energy being built up as the bow bends and it creaks, and you pull in that arrow back as far as it can go, and you can just, your arm's shaking, and pretty soon all you can do is just loose that arrow. And the more energy, the further back it gets pulled, the further forward it's going to go. And that's what that energy feels like to me. This is the drawing back. It's that awkward, weird, retrograde type of motion where everything's just, and it's going to build up into this big crescendo. And pretty soon this arrow is going to loose. And whether it's only small individually or if it's going to be something large and societal, I don't know. But I think it can go either way or both. And we have this large micro and macrocosm and syncretism that happens there. But what a fucking time to be alive.
Hell yeah.
Thank you all for participating in this reality with me. I really appreciate it. This is some good shit.
Truth.
We shall try this again.
Let's go one more time.
Oh, hell, we'll do this all night.
Yeah. One more, as many times as it takes, but this is the last one because it's going to work.
That's right. Good call. Call for Zero says an energy mud flood. I dig it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's something going on. Like that humans have no control over. You know? No human.
We definitely hear her now, just so you know her mic's working.
Hello, do you hear us?
There's you.
Yes.
That's wow, Cammy. That's a real something's
Cammy's
really
voice
going
changed.
really.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that Bob or is
now
that,
that mic's not quite
No,
right
it's-
yet. We're
It's
close.
Cammy. I've got an allergy.
Achoo. Achoo.
Yeah, I have this.
What's up, Bob? How you doing? Haven't talked to you in a minute.
Not too bad. Oh, you know what? She's got her freaking other. I had two things going at the same time. So yeah, doing good. Can't complain. How about you guys?
Same shit, different toilet.
Oh, there you go. All right. Well, I will put Cammy back on,
Awesome.
and she can talk to you guys. Wow, I'm trying to get this thing maximized, but
It works
I'll
for
get
Bob. It doesn't work for Cammy.
Well, I know she's got this thing with electronic equipment. I don't know what the hell it is, but it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Honestly, I mean, she will touch electronic equipment and it just goes to hell in a handbasket.
Zap.
Yeah, I'm not much.
Too
better.
much energy. She has a higher vibration than the computers allow.
Yeah, that's it for sure.
Static discharge.
Yep. So, all right. So let me put her on here real quick, and here you go.
Happy Thanksgiving, Bob. Enjoy your weekend.
True. Happy Thanksgiving, Bob.
Hello, hello.
There
Hello.
she is. That's what I like to hear.
No, if you can't hear me now, I'll know for sure it's just me and they're taking me out.
It works.
Hi, everyone.
There's Cammy.
Oh.
Hi, Cammy.
I need to make this screen big.
Yes, thank you so much, Bob. We appreciate your help.
Yeah, he fixed me up, and I'm not quite sure what he did, but actually he did what I was doing, and it worked for him. That's the difference. If I'm touching it, it's not going to work.
That's too funny. So Camry made an excellent turkey yesterday.
I think
Did you
he's
s-
Zach.
Did you see her thing she put in IRM?
Oh, that was
I
bad.
did
That was
not.
really bad.
Yeah, we won't share it on the show, but
Actually, it'd be
Yeah,
pretty
you guys-
funny to show and see how warped our audience is. You can drop it in if you have the guts. I'm broadcasting live from the garage where the remnants of the turkey are in that outside refrigerator in case we need snacking during the show.
Oh, see, that's not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. You'd be surprised some of the nasty pictures you think you're looking at when you're dealing with like a raw turkey. You can get just the right close-up angle. It's
Oh my God.
I'm sure I can.
So, I noticed you're not showing it, so that's so pretty funny. No, it was cute. It made me laugh. It made me laugh pretty hard.
I just didn't have my Skype pulled up on my computer. But I will absolutely pull it up.
Let's see it.
Saving to download.
See the damage that's done.
See that?
Tammy's
Happy
dirty
Thanksgiving,
mind.
everyone.
Happy
Oh, thank you.
Tammy.
Oh, this is nice. There was a reason my microphone did not work.
Got turkey juice on it.
So
You're making it worse.
Nkululeko Duma, Nuka for short, in chat asked, what happened with the Rittenhouse trial? Please explain. Thank you for that super chat there, Nuka. Love you, brother. Hope everything's going well over there in Africa. You're staying safe. I know he had it rough there for a little while. The Kyle Rittenhouse, I really didn't. I mean, he was found not guilty. That's about all I really know about it. I really didn't look into it too much. It was kind of one of those, in my opinion, hey, look over here things.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't there a really important trial actually taking place at the same time?
Ghislaine
No
Maxwell.
coverage. Yeah.
There was another one, too. It was like, don't look now, but somebody else's trial is happening. Anyway, like you said, it's a smoke and mirror.
Mm-hmm. Look over here. Pay attention to this. Yeah. But yeah, he was found not guilty. Really, I think the mainstream media kind of made all this happen. I mean, he really didn't do anything illegal, according to our laws. Now, people can voice their opinions all they want about, well, he never should have been there in the first place, and blah, blah, blah. That is, regardless of the situation, does not matter. Fact was that he was there holding a rifle legally, and people started, attacking him, and he defended himself. Who would be dumb enough? I'm sorry, I'm not going to go run up to a guy with a gun in his hand and try to attack him. But yeah, that's pretty much all I know about it. I didn't buy into that hype at all. Was I pretty, was that accurate? Anybody who's paid more attention than me? Yeah, the gun he had wasn't illegal. Him taking it over state lines wasn't, nothing that he did was illegal.
Wasn't even true. He never took guns over state lines as far as I know.
Was the gun already there?
Yep.
And
there was no problem with him possessing it or carrying it, or there was no issues. That's why all those were thrown out of court by the judge. The only thing they had to rule on were the murder charges, because all of the firearms were just chucked because he was perfectly legal to be carrying, and there was no reason for that to be a charge.
And I love how they use the word assault weapon. I could take a fork and assault somebody with it. Does that make this fork an assault weapon now? It's a rifle, and it shoots a really small bullet. It shoots it pretty fast, pretty far, pretty accurate. That's the reason they don't want us to have one. But it's not like a big M240 machine gun that's shooting a big round, fully auto. Bah, 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 bah. It's not a machine gun. I mean, the way they word things drives me nuts.
It's the trigger words. That's what I was saying. It's that if they say it enough, it's almost like it's research. They know which words are gonna make you react a certain way, and blah blah blah. They spend millions of dollars on that crap, man.
It's the emotions. Yeah. If you can learn to block out, or at least highlight in your brain, all of those ifs and possiblies and maybes and could be's and should be's, and all of the emotional words, all the words that have no business really being there other than to stir up emotion. One that's not quite accurate, but it's close enough. But when you factor into the emotion of the word, then it really starts to drive the point home.
Like I've been a waiter at a restaurant, and when you go through training, they tell you to use descriptive, tasteful words, right? So to sell something, in order to sell something, I'm going to sell you a ribeye. I'm not going to be like, do you want that 24-ounce ribeye? Do you want that 24-ounce ribeye grilled, seasoned and seared to perfection with a slight layer of fat on the outside? You know, and there's key words you can throw in there to make somebody more interested.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, all the real good salesmen know how to do that stuff. They'll have 2 or 3 products for you there to buy, and they don't really talk bad about the cheaper ones, but they just use these special keywords for the ones that cost a little bit more. You know,
that's how the advertising works.
All the products are good. Don't get me wrong. Everything we sell is top notch, but this one has a few, and then there go those keywords.
Mm-hmm.
And people hear those keywords and they think, "Oop, I need that. That's better." The neighbor lady is a great example. She buys everything. Needs it or not, doesn't matter. You could sell her ice in northern Alaska. You know, she's just one of those people. They have money, and they listen to salesmen. She went in to go get her eye exam. Said, "I'm not buying anything." Telling her mom, you know, "I'm not going to buy nothing." Her mom's 91. She's 68. It's so funny. "I'm not going to buy nothing, Mom. I'm just going to get my eye exam." And ordered a pair of $960-something sunglasses. Yeah. You know, couldn't have got just a $150 pair of sunglasses. No. You know, this one had those special keywords to it. And she even said, "Oh yeah," she said, "they have this on them and that on them and this anti-scratch, this and that." But yeah, they know how to sell. They do.
I say it all the time. It's like a psychological war. They've left this physical violence war, this slave war, whatever you want to call it, whatever that they were using back in the day. Now they just psychologically take you over. It's mind control to the fullest amount you could possibly imagine without actually like placing their hands on you. They've reached into your, like I say it all the time when I'm a bartender, I can reach in your pocket and take your money without touching you because I'm using these words, or I'm friendly with you, or I give you a free beer, or whatever it is that I'm doing. I can make you do what I want. You see?
Yeah, bartenders are the best at doing it, you know, because they know their product. With each one they sell, it gets a little bit easier.
And I can judge people now when they come in. You know, I've seen all walks of life, so you know, I'm not gonna talk to the same way as these old people as I am to the 22-year-old. Like, "Oh, well, what up, bro?" You know, like,
yeah,
you can read people as well. So
hello,
everyone's
there,
got their way, you know.
Yeah, and I've noticed that. I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of these younger generation, they don't get that. The whole speaking to your elders a different way.
No, that's what I mean. There's a shift. Like the amount of ignorance that entails in these kids these days is incredible. And it all happened like in a year or two. I don't even know how this change in the generation happened. I think it was because of computers, our heads are focused so much that we lost the connection with other people. They don't have respect for anybody because they never had to give or show any.
Well, yeah, none of it's face to face anymore.
Right.
There is they don't see what their words are actually doing to
body
somebody.
language and physical contact and looking in someone's eyes. You got a mask on now. You can't even tell if somebody's smiling. They took all our emotions away. They took it away on purpose so that they can take our connection away, our spirituality.
You know, when you say something bad to somebody and you see their face get that frown on it and almost start crying, you feel bad. You should, at least. You know, I'm different.
If you couldn't see what they were looking like, how do you know? You have to go
exactly.
by just the word.
Yeah, exactly. You don't get,
and that's so another thing. Holy crap. Thinking about what you're saying is like we all text each other now. So and you know how many times lost in translation, like you try to text, they're like, "Why you got to talk to me like that?" You're like, "Dude, I was just saying da 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 da."
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. Must have read it wrong. So these kids don't even know what sensible conversations are, and it's all lost. It's like communication is so different.
Well, they're being raised now. You know, back when I was younger, there was no internet. You know, so there was television, and mom could turn the television off. But now it's like parents can't even compete with the internet. The internet is there 24/7. And if they have any type of device, they can access it and watch pretty much whatever they want. So these children are seeing things at very young ages that most of us weren't allowed to see. You know, mom covered my eyes during the movies. Oh, you can't see this part. They're going to show boobies. Yeah, it's a different world now. It's totally different. These children are being raised by these devices, not their parents.
Time out right there. Don't forget that sentence, and hopefully I'll try to remember where that left off. Unkulaleko Duma in chat has another question saying, do we still believe in parallel universes?
I never did.
I don't
disbelieve.
I've never had any information on it, to be honest, and I don't want to say I do or don't.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I'm not saying that they're not real, but I've never really put a whole lot of credence into it.
And that's the thing with when you go into the rabbit hole, you have to decide which tunnel you go down because they're all so fucking long. You don't have time to go through everyone.
Yeah, there's no way to dedicate that much time to,
to all
everything.
Of it.
Yeah, and if you
I've
try,
never believed in time travel. I've never thought that was possible.
Me neither. Age is a weird thing. Like time itself is a weird question, right? And then you got people saying it's all man-made or whatever. But I'm saying we have a time span on aging. Anything that's alive ages, right? Or whatever. The Hydra vulgara is the only thing that I know of that doesn't die. So time consists of age.
Yeah, time's a funny one.
It's a funny one, right?
But yeah, I've never been able to rationalize in my head that you could go back and change something that has already happened. It just doesn't compute in my brain.
No, me neither.
And it used to be, I thought it might have possibly been possible. But then when I really started getting into physics and loving physics and learning about, I'm not saying it's 100% not possible either. I mean, I don't know. I just really don't put any.
The only reason I say that you don't know in the end is because of what we've learned already. But I mean, it's a good guess to say that it doesn't, because the past doesn't exist, the future hasn't happened. Is your instantaneous instant is the only thing that actually exists. And it's gone every fucking second. It's gone when it happens. Is it there even in the first place?
And, I always had the problem with, well, if you went back from this timeline back in time and changed something, that would start a whole new timeline. Even if it was insignificant,
then you get into like Mandela.
Tiny. Yeah, well, I still don't doubt the Mandela.
That's right back to parallel universes, I think. And that's sort of how I've always.
But how would we? Then we're talking about them. Like, how do we explain any of that? And maybe you're on the right path.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it.
So many times in my life, when I've had a decision to make, logically, it wasn't necessarily that important of a decision, but it was one of those sort of very this or that. It was very a black and white decision. There was a pressure, one of those weird energies. And maybe there are almost nodal points where when it comes time to make one of these decisions, these are where it's going to split off. And one of these other universes where you say yes, and one of the universes where you say no. Which one are you going to choose? Your own adventure book? Like, you get to the end of the little series and you got to figure out which page you're going to flip to figure out how that story progresses. And It progresses regardless. But this consciousness, the one that you're following, is the one that's the decision that you're going to go with. But there's still somewhere else, there's that decision that split off with a consciousness that said, yes, I'm going to do that. And that's a whole nother parallel universe. But
now we're talking like Alan Watts theory, and
each one of those
philosophy.
decisions is a whole nother parallel universe. Because
that could have happened, but
50-50 choice.
Your decision with everyone else's is what reality consists of. You make that decision on your timeline. Everyone else did too. So everyone is making a conscious effort to create the actual timeline.
And I never liked the idea that everything was, we're just acting it out. It's already been decided for us.
Mm-mm.
I could never see that either.
Choice. I mean, then you're talking about faith versus, is it supposed to happen, or is it set in stone that it's already gonna, and that's a tough one for me, I don't believe in that at all. I think things happen, like, let's say things happen for a reason, but I don't think things are set in stone. I don't think like, oh, no matter what you do when you wake up, no matter what decision you make, that was what was going to happen. I don't like that one. I think we all have a choice.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And
I'm not sure what happened. Cam said her mic went out again. The darn headset. Speak of the devil. Her ears must have been burning.
Speak of the devil, and did you say Cammy appears? Okay.
Speak of the devil, and Cammy appears.
Wait, can you hear her?
I can hear her now. For now.
Oh my God, that's so crazy. It happened again. With I'm going back and forth between two wireless headsets, and it's weird because I can hear the audio part. I can hear what you guys are saying. You just don't hear me. It's only the microphone. So I'm really sorry. If it does it again, I'll just listen. It's obviously a sign, and I'll take it personally. So I feel like I've missed the show.
I'll just come up and chop your thumb off. That'll be payment.
All right. I can do that. I deserve it. It was bad. I'm interrupting.
It is not a big deal whatsoever. You're the legend. You're the legend in the room. We bow down.
Yeah. You got Mr. Pass, please.
yeah. You know it. All day long.
I have a gift from Christian at Iron Realm. At Iron Realm at Melodome. He was at the house playing with us, and we made crystals. I don't know if you know about that. It was really a good time on one of I think we did that on an Iron Realm or a Melodome show that we were making the crystals at Iron Realm.
It was Have No Sphere last Friday.
Yeah. But you didn't get to see it. Let's see if I can start the video. Boy, my mouse is now acting wiggy. But he did this beautiful silicone pipe that you freeze it. This freezes here and it pulls through, and then close it on the
it's like a condenser.
Mm-hmm. It's almost, it makes me think a lot of when we're doing the distilling. So thank you, Christian. It's a great gift. He's somebody, it's a great gift.
He knows Cammy's heart.
He knows my heart.
Get Cammy a pipe, she'll love you forever.
A cool pipe. Come on, I have a bar. I have some kind of a limit or a standard.
Yeah, we're not talking about those little cheap metal zeppelins or anything like that.
Right. I don't want no cheesy pipe. I want, the sterile.
Yeah, I think glycerin, right? He said was in there. The liquid in there.
Exactly,
is glycerin,
it's glycerin.
so it won't freeze, but it holds the cold a lot longer than most other liquids.
Right. It does go into somewhat of a solid, but it doesn't do that. And then you just, before you use it, when you take it out of the freezer, you hold the bowl part in your hand for a little bit, put your thumb in the bowl part and get the bowl all nice and room temperature so you don't crack the glass part. Because yeah, the bowl itself is glass, but the stem that it pulls through, and then it's got the glass running through the silicon chamber. But it makes a nice, almost like a little pot distillery. Yes, something like that.
All right, Zach, do you remember where I had you hold off?
No, that was like hours ago in my brain.
Right.
It's all right.
So then before I lose this one, we're going to have Mike tell us a little bit about his shirt that he's got going on there.
Oh man, I love this shirt. Yeah, I got another one that I wore to the solar return, and you can get them online, but just goes to the sound. I just love the shirt, the lion. And whenever
that's good.
It's got a little box you clip on your waist.
No shit.
I love it.
I dig it.
I love LEDs. I got them. I got a scooter that's got LEDs on it. I've been messing with LED lights since I was 12, probably.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I might need to talk to you.
No problem.
Because I've still got one of those ideas burning in my brain.
Oh, we should get to it, man. We should get to it. And it's great now that I actually have something to say. If I want to do some street activism or something, I'll wear this, or so it's really good to get the attention toward a good cause now.
Yeah.
I haven't bought clothes like a shirt that wasn't flat earth related in 2017.
You say that wasn't flat earth related? You had like your whole wardrobe's flat earth shit?
Yeah, every shirt I bought since 2017
awesome.
was either from a convention or ordered it from a flat earth, someone's show or something like that. Yeah, that's everything I buy now is just all flat earth.
Bracelet, it's flat.
Nice.
That is nice.
Yeah, I'm just starting to collecting a little wardrobe. I got a couple of the Alex Michael hoodies, but I didn't read the directions, and when I washed it, I didn't turn it inside out. I was like, shit. So we got ruined.
Yeah, I would have ruined mine too. I don't do directions.
So Unkulaleko hitting us up once again with the super chat. Says the brain is active for 10 minutes after you die. What happens?
What is death? And are we sure that we're dead?
Yeah, I've been wondering about that.
You die when your whole brain is dead, I would assume. If your brain's alive, you're alive. Right? No?
I always wondered, do humans, I've been having this question lately, do humans have to die? Or is it a lifelong poisoning that we go through with all the fluoride and the sugar and all this stuff that's actually deteriorating our bodies?
Yes. I hate that. And that is what's happening. We're being poisoned.
Yeah, does the human body have to? I mean, some people age with amazingly. They barely look, 40 and they're 60. While others people are in their 40s and they look like they're 70.
Diet has everything to do with it.
Yeah, but do human beings have to actually die? I mean,
the question of life and death is super huge. Like inevitable, or what is it? Immortality. Are you saying do we live forever?
I think absolutely. Well, not that we can live forever, but I think we absolutely are supposed to die.
That's such a good question, Zach, because I think about that all the time. Is like, do cells have to age? That's what I was saying about time. Time only exists because we age. Rocks, they don't age, but they only deform because of the variable of wind or water. They don't just deform by themselves. Or pressure.
Yeah, and they're constantly growing too.
So time and age tie into each other.
I remember hearing this story about this old Buddhist, I think it was Buddhist monk from Korea. And he was like a master, you know, and he had him put his body in this temple and close the doors, and he told him to open it in 50 years. And he just went in the temple and like started meditating and kind of died, you know. They couldn't read a pulse anymore or anything like that. And then something happened and they weren't able to open the door 50 years later. It took like 65 years or 70 years. And when they opened the door, the guy was still sitting up in the same position and he had barely decomposed at all.
So that's weird. That reminds me of a story of this guy in India that I read who held his arm up, his right arm, and
yeah, and it atrophied up there like that.
Not only did it atrophy, but it petrified. Like frostbite petrified. It just like got rock hard, and it stuck there. He held it up until it got stuck there. That's wild.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
I can't help but think that Cammie may have lost her microphone again.
And Walt still being Father Walt?
Probably so.
Yeah, I love his son. Quentin's a good guy.
Time is a good one. Time is a trippy one, man.
Time is a trippy one. Right along with aging. I think we're supposed to expire. I think that's part of being here, is having that expiration date. Sort of.
And I think people are going to have a different outlook on it, whether they're religious or not, because where it happens to you after should have something to do with it. You know, because then you're not going to say that you can live forever. If you have a religious outlook on it, then you're supposed to die.
Well, I mean, everything atrophies. So I suppose even if you wanted to say that, unless you show me something different, I would say that everything is supposed to die too. Everything that's alive is going to die.
The thing is when I think about that, and I always say, like, is it wrong to want to live forever? That's a good question too, because in all the movies, right? So the propaganda would show that they show you that anyone who wants to live forever is the crazy person in the movie. And they're the mad scientist, and they've gone too far, and they're going to take over the world because they're going to try to live forever. Like, is it wrong to want to live longer than 100 years in this tiny little fucking drop in the pond?
Yeah, I think that's been something humans have been searching for forever. Yeah. Really.
Probably not wrong, because it's something humans have been searching for forever. And once you are mature enough in your life to kind of start to come to terms with your own mortality, it's going to be a question that comes up regardless. Whether or not that means we need to start making some quantum computers and try to figure out how to work in electrical and computers and biological processes into one being, and maybe transfer my consciousness, you see, into some other thing. That way, I can live forever, even though my body will have decayed, but I will have got one over on whoever made that body with that consciousness, because I kept mine. So I'm smarter than whoever.
But is that your consciousness, or is that just a recording of
what is a consciousness?
Yeah. Can we actually download?
They say you can.
Our soul.
They say that they've done it, and I think that's what they're hiding. I think that this whole topic, I don't know what the end game is, or if it is more immortality, but I think they found something out about that. That's what the transhumanism movement is they want to combine the technology with humanity, with the organics. If we can manipulate it, if we can GMO humans,
Now, would you do it though? Would you give these
Me?
people anybody? I mean, just think about it. Okay, so your consciousness is now in this machine.
Oh, moral question of the day.
But who's in control of this machine? And how much of the machine is it? Do you get to be in a room?
Well, this is what the transhumanism is like. You upload everyone's consciousness to a central hub, right? So you've got this mega brain. And it's like being in a classroom. We're all pumped into the same pipeline, man.
Yeah, but do the controllers of this machine where they're putting the consciousness, do they let you explore the machine? Or are you stuck in like a little room, an apartment?
You're controlled.
Apartment.
Have you seen Surrogate? Bruce Willis is laying in his freaking lounger chair with his freaking goggles on while his robot walks the city.
Yeah, I wouldn't. There's no way I'd do anything like that.
And he's all fat and gross, but you don't know it till the end because his surrogate's running around and you think it's a human until like the final, and they're like, oh, it's been, he's been in his chair and he's all fat and gross while he's been in VR. He's been in virtual reality controlling this robot to go do his work and go sit down at the computer and do work. And he's at home all grossed out, but his robot looks handsome and like fit.
Yeah, no thanks.
No thanks, dude.
Maybe it's for some people, but I definitely wouldn't like that.
And that's why I think it's even part of like why one of the things they say Christ had to experience. It's that coming to grips with death. And the fact that regardless of how much you want to be able to live forever, we find ourselves in a position where we're not going to, and we have to accept we lose all that is physical around us. I mean, I can remember a time being in the first house I lived in. I only lived in from the ages of from when I was born to 3 years old. So any memories I have of that house was in that time frame because I was never in it otherwise. But I have very specific memories of that house, one of which being in a crib with a like wicker Winnie the Pooh mobile over my head and being able to see the window. I remember playing with little plastic ABC magnets on my metal closet door. And I remember being able to identify things and think things, but I wasn't in control of my body enough to be able to speak. And like when you wake from a dream, that consciousness that was there saying, that's Mikey next door riding his motorcycle. But I'm in my crib listening to this while I know I'm supposed to be asleep, but what I keep hearing is Mikey on his motorcycle.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hey.
Well, hello.
It's me again. Can you believe this?
Yes, I can.
Oh, Lord.
Yes, it was meant for Globebusters to take over Iron Realm Medium, I guess. All right, so I have set Cami up with a wired pair of headsets because her and wireless, yikes. I don't know what she does, but her and it seems like all of her girlfriends, or at least two of her girlfriends that I know, have had this very strange property. And one of them, by the way, is like a nurse that runs dialysis machines. And so like this one girl, she always got around computers and she said, oh no, I kill computers and everything. And I didn't believe it till I first saw it. Right. And sure enough, every time she got around my computer or anybody's computer, it would start completely freaking out, and this has to do obviously with their electrical field. But the thing that was really weird with her is she works as a dialysis nurse, right? And she said the first few times, actually it happens quite often, she'll go in and she'll start doing dialysis on somebody and she'll shut down the machine. So it's yeah, I know, right? So there are definitely people out there that, have that happen to them. And you guys were talking a little bit earlier about, what happens when you die. And Yeah, there is supposedly brain activity, but I think the moment when you really die is when you lose that, 3/4 of an ounce or whatever it is. You lose just a little bit of body weight when the spirit actually physically leaves the body. And a lot of people can actually see this physically happening. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But when the heart stops, you're not technically dead because there's still electrical activity in the brain, and that does take a little while to shut down. So during that precious few minutes, you literally become aware of everything that's going on outside of you, or at least a lot of people do. I've studied a lot about near-death experiences, and because I find the subject absolutely fascinating, and I want to know. I've always wanted to know what happens when we die. What are these crazy things that happen? But yeah. Physiologically, it does take a while, but I would say the absolute real moment of death is when you lose that, 3/4 of an ounce or whatever, and the spirit leaves the body. And that is a very, very, demarcatable event. It can be seen, measured, everything. So there you have it. Oops, am I still here?
Yep, you're still here. We still got you.
Oh, okay.
We're still
I know about that as well. The 3/4 of an ounce less.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a wild thing when you talk about ghosts and spirit and all that. You got to look at science that can be shown.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
that's
and
a tough one.
a lot of doctors have done it, and there's a ton of really good books on it out there, and it is fascinating. The ones I find the most fascinating are the people that have died and have come back and have total recall. Even as children, and they grow up all throughout their life. They say, "Oh no, I remember these people at this house."
Speaking different languages and all kinds of stuff.
Absolutely, it is freaking mind blowing.
It's freaky. It's freaky.
Yeah, tons of those cases.
It's like that John Travolta movie.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. So anyway, I'm going to put Cami back on, and I think she's good now because I got her on a wired. and I ordered, by the way, if you're going to order a set of wireless microphones, do not order the Logitech. Those things are junk. So I ordered new wireless for both her and I.
Anti-advertisement.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, because we ordered 2 of those Logitechs, and they both do the same things. They do it to me too, just not as often as they do it to her. So they're junk. So avoid them like the plague. Here's Cami.
Thanks again, Bob.
You're welcome.
I desperately have to go hit the head and have a dart.
Let's do a 2-minute because I need the coffee's refills.
Shall we? We'll let Kimmy get all situated.
There we go.
And
perfect.
I'll see if I can't find
something
to throw on.
Be right back.
What shall we do? This is the worst part.
So many songs to pick from, or
pretty much. Ask my wife. She knows it's horrible. Too many choices. Having me make any kind of decision whatsoever, but having too many things from which to choose, it's ridiculous. And I wish I could be better. All right. 3 minutes, 31 seconds.
What's your favorite song, Josh?
Yeah, right.
Come on, you know what it is.
It really depends on my mood. Ask me now and ask me tomorrow.
Ask me tomorrow.
All right. I'm going to go hit the head, grab a dart. You guys stick around. This is just something a little bit bluesy, because why the hell not? Tufts.
Yeah, I like that one.
All right, that's enough. Shut up.
Sweet song, bro.
Thanks.
I like that tune. I was making coffee. I was dancing a little.
Groovin'. I heard a name today. That video game place where Walt and I get all our free games, that Epic Games. They put out one, it was 1,000 games. You know, and I was thinking Pac-Man, Galaga, this and that. But it's like Mortal Kombat, Earthworm Jim, just a bunch of old Sega and Super Nintendo games and stuff like that. I'm going to play it. I'm going to go back and play Earthworm Jim again.
Was that name? I thought you were going to say Galaga.
I bet you.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely going to play it. Now, I beat Earthworm Jim when I was younger.
Dang, you're a baller then. I tried.
Groovy. Yeah. Yeah, it was one of those video game. I broke so many controllers at a very young age, between like probably 9 and 12. That's where I learned patience, playing video games. I used to get mad and yell and scream and cry and throw my controllers, and oh yeah. And then I taught my little brother this at a very young age. If you're stuck on a video game and you're starting to get worse at it, you know how that happens? You'll be fighting a boss over and over and you start doing worse. What you do is you put it down for an hour or two.
Yep.
Forget about it, and then go back, and usually you'll beat it the very first try.
Isn't that weird?
Or sleep
You're right
on
about
it.
that.
It took me decades to figure that out.
You're right about that. I'm an avid gamer, and that happens with a lot of sports games for me. I'd be like, God damn it, and just give it an hour, come back, you're like, oh, I'm a legend.
Mm-hmm.
Let your brain rest.
Yeah, well, and it's frustration, and
yeah,
so much of it is emotion. Controlling your emotions is so important in every aspect of life.
Man,
and you don't really realize it because it's just a video game, you know. It's like, who cares? But if you can control your emotions and keep your wits about you, you do start noticing, wow, these games are a lot easier when I'm level-headed and, you know, not frustrated.
That's great that you bring that up. That's what my awakening has given me, is control. To stop drinking took. Everybody's like, it must be so hard, and it's like, once you really do make up your mind about something, if you're headstrong about something, if you can have self-control, it's not about controlling the outside things, just control yourself, control your emotions, I don't view life negatively anymore. So negative things that happen to me, I have the shield up, man, and it just doesn't feel that way anymore. I deal with it differently.
And that's what I think it is. Go ahead, Kimmy.
I was going to say, you're always going to be faced with different challenges and different rides and different journeys and that. And your experience is like what you make of how you react to it. Will it piss you off, or will it challenge you, or will it inspire you, or that? And a lot of the times it's, again, it will have you can control it. You can look and say, if something is pissing you off, you're right, step away, take a few minutes, reset your energy. But you really do control your journey, and being angry towards everything makes you look for things that make you angry. So you always get back to that same old Wayne Dyer. You change the way you look at things. The things
So
you
true.
look at change.
I've said it 100 times. The book that really had a huge effect on me was Emotional Intelligence, and how it can be more important than IQ. And in that book, it really gets down into sort of what they say is the biology of the brain, and how when you're taking in information at a very young age, when it's not quite developed and those neural pathways haven't been set, information can just sort of bypass that higher brain and just run straight to the amygdala. And if it does it at that young age repeatedly, that's the neural pathway that gets set. You just have an emotional response. It just goes from information straight to emotional response. That's the neural pathway that's been set. It never learned to go through the higher brain functions of logic and reasoning before it gets to make that decision.
That's the whole thing I think about with flat Earth is they're teaching you at 4 and 5 years old about astrophysics.
Yep.
That's ridiculous.
Here's
who in their right mind would approve that a child should be learning about things that adults can't even understand, and that's not real fucking science.
And it's just for that reason. And I think that's why it feels like it's an obsession. The alcohol, the drugs, whatever it is, it gets that neural pathway set, and everything becomes an emotional response and becomes a crutch. And it's an obsession. You can't imagine life without it, and you're doing everything you can to keep it in your life. You become obsessed. That neural pathway is set, and you don't know how to break out of that rut. And it just takes sort of the practice. First, you got to cut it off. Make sure you're not following that neural pathway, and then you have to train your brain to follow a new one.
Well, that's what Cammie was just saying. It's like the way that you like no one controls you but you. And when you, like I said, when you figure out your self journey, you go on that self journey, and you're like, I control my life. I control the path that I go down. I wake up every day. I decide to put my shoes on. I make a choice. I brush my teeth. It's because I made a choice to do it. I'm making a choice today to stop letting alcohol run my life. And it was the best choice I ever made. You have to make a choice. You have to view things differently than you did. But it's wrong. If you're going through life and you're like, I need to make a change, then you make a change. Don't start to fall out of the sky, because it's not gonna happen.
Man in the Mirror. That song changed my life. Probably more than any song I've in history. When I heard that, I was only 13, 14 maybe when that came out, and that song just totally made me want to be a better person. You know which one I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I love that song. I get chills still when I hear it. It's one of those things. It's like the William Wallace speech before the first fight. I was thinking we had Christian on last week, and we were talking about tears. They talk about witches gathering people's tears for doing their spells and their little, So if I had tears of joy, could I do something with that? Or tears of, I don't even know if that would be considered tears of joy. I'm not really sure. Tears of freedom, then there's tears of happiness, tears of happiness. I don't know what the freedom one would be. I'm not real sure, but I tried it. Like the next day, I went and put on Braveheart, went to that scene, and sure enough, my eyes started getting all watery. I didn't try to collect any tears, but I bet I could. I bet I could sit there and collect tears on happiness, sadness. I mean, there's commercials that make me start tearing up.
Tears are very, very powerful. They would be interesting to use and experience and experiments and see how they affect things like plant growth and energy around. Again, that's an interesting path to go through. The astrophysics and the children, of course, you're going to teach them that when they're young, just like they put the mobiles of the globe above, the mobiles above the cribs as they're doing it, because they're implanting the idea and programming the idea. And until you do, they do. There's a well-known set of cognitive skills. It's the same reason that you don't ask your 3 or 4-year-old, did you take the cookie out of the kitchen when they're the only ones home with you? They don't have the cognitive skills, most of them, to reason and deduce that they're the only person in the house, and of course they took the cookie. They have not put together the skills yet, those things that you associate with IQ of being able to pattern together a majority of children are not born with these skills, and they measure them. We featured them on the show before. I've gone over them. It's called, I think, the Piazza cognitive skills. I feel like I'm off a syllable on it for some reason. I'm off tonight. But again, as part of the plan, you put in astrophysics and that before you can piece together the things. And so then as you're older and it gets questioned on you, you remember, yeah, I learned about that in school. But at that age, can you really like think the hard questions? And in other words, you're just learning to repeat. You're not learning
Regurgitation.
You're not thinking to process and say, does this make sense what they're telling me? And nor are you in a position to think that they would ever lie. You know, why would they? You're at school, your parents put you in this building to sit in this chair and regurgitate and get graded on how well you can regurgitate.
There we go. Can I interrupt and say, I think there's that fine line. As a child, the way we learn is not regurgitation necessarily, but mimicry, right? We learn from watching other people. We learn and then we mimic. That's how we form our words and see what words mean and be able to identify that we mimic. That's how we try to figure out our place and how to react and interact with other people. That is then hijacked into the regurgitation of public schools and say, now mimic me because I have the authority. I'm telling you what is true. So just mimic the words that are coming out of my mouth. The better you mimic, the better the grade, and we'll kick you on down the road and you can mimic some more people.
Well, that's the thing I was saying about when you go to the bar with someone. Now throughout your whole entire childhood, when you go play baseball, everyone that you know believes and knows the same thing you did. So nobody questions each other about whether it's real or not. Before you can even understand it, you and 30 of your friends all know that it's real because you were told it's real.
I am hoping and praying that everybody at least had one semester, 1 year, one experience like I did with my 5th grade science teacher that did brain teaser corner in order to make up extra credit points and arrange field trips and that to reward for curiosity and to figure out how things work. Even though they have the framework to teach us, you know, as far as the facts they're supposed to teach us, you still have people, your teachers are people, and you're going to have some brilliant ones sneak through that are going to have the level of learning and the curiosity that can mix it in together. But you're right, the things that they're teaching you in astrophysics at such an early age is to implant it before you're in a credible challenge position with, you know, as far as the teachers and that unquestioning the ideas. You just, again, you don't even think of questioning, you just write it down. That's what you're rewarded for. And the classrooms are set up right now that a teacher wouldn't be able to respond to all of the questions on it. They have so many kids in there and they have to get through so much material. Again, they've set it up so brilliantly. They really have.
Brilliantly. It's a perfect word for it. These people are smart. This isn't a joke to them. They know what they're doing. This has been like, you know, societies have been controlling the people for millennia, you know, since humans have been alive. So they are just these people in the top echelon are just perfecting it. Like I said, it's a psychological war. Now, how easy is it when I don't have to take a whip to your back and make you do what I want? That's
right. It is
so easy.
Why the lie? If you put the lie in there, it gives us the illusion of choice. Where they really have messed with the true question, what choice is really about the question, the life, why we're here, and that they've taken away the big question by implanting that lie. It's
when the pandemic started, I told
deep,
my dad.
Deep thought. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, you're right though, because when the pandemic started, I said, Dad, they're not gonna show up at your door with an M4 to your face and tell you to give up your rights. They're gonna figure out a way to make you do it and think that you're doing it for a good reason. Okay. You know, it's so easy. Everything is so easy because they're smarter than we are. That's why I say people are just so stupid.
Well, again, it's by design. It's not that they're stupid. It's that there's a concerted effort being made to make sure they don't see it. Again, you don't pull against the chains you don't see.
I'm not saying I wasn't stupid. I feel like that the reason I broke out of it is because I was like, why? I kept saying why, and that means I'm not that stupid. If you can at least question something
Ian hit
without being ridiculed.
Yep, that's just it. And I think Ian hit the nail on the head. We go from mimicking to learn, and then we have to cross this line where we go into regurgitation, and we just totally skip where we try
so that
to
you're
think
not
for
ridiculed by your
ourselves.
peers.
That's right. What if we were allowed to test the boundaries?
In some countries, they have discussion squares. Like in India, I think they still do it. Men and women come out and they have speakers for 5 minutes or whatever. And there's like these little groups that hang out in Times, like what we would have as Times Square, and they just hang out and they debate. They have little debate days. And they're sitting out there yelling. And I mean, they're getting heated. They're not punching each other in the face, but they're debating. We don't have any thinkers anymore. When I was growing up, it was like, invention. It was always like advertisements on send in your invention. Who's the next science fair and the next inventor? And then a few years later, when I was a teenager, it was like, if you're an inventor, that's not good. It's like, wait, what? They don't want you to create. They don't want. It's weird.
Well, because they have to cut you off before you're allowed to test the things that you've been mimicking. Okay, well, here's what I've been mimicking. Is this right?
Right.
Do I get to experiment as to whether can I mimic somebody else? Can I mimic other things? And before we are allowed to experiment with mimicking somebody else or seeing who else is out there to mimic, we are then just placed 8 hours a day right into this and told, all right, mimic him. And he says, all right, now all you got to do is write this word in the definitions 100 times and I'll see you tomorrow. And then you just write it down 100 times, repetition. Bart Simpson in the opening of The Simpsons, right? It's that repetition. Those are those buzzwords. Those are those emotional words. Those are those marketing words, all done through repetition. That's how you knew to pay attention when you heard it on PBS. Like, why are they repeating that so much? I know why, but let's look at why. Welcome back, Walter. Don't feel like you have to come hang out with us.
Oh, he's gone. He's very like swamped with work, crazy hours, being in the retail industry, in spite of the fact that they're not doing crazy, technically, Black Friday stuff like they've been doing over all the years. They're still doing Black Friday stuff over the weekend. So they just shifted it 2 days over. And it's still been madness and preparation. And so, yeah. He's been swamped. Didn't even get to see him yesterday. So he came by.
Bless his heart.
Yep.
I love your son. Tell Quentin I said, hey.
I did. I told him. I told people in chat there that I was here with him, and I saw Liz catching everybody up after I was gone, and Doc did as well. So thank you guys for covering me. Thank y'all.
Shout out to Billy Ray Valentine as well, who I see hanging out in chat.
I did see Billy as well. Yeah. We actually were watching for some considerable time when he first got here. We saw Nuka's questions going by and stuff. So, yeah, we were paying attention. And then we got sidetracked with the cats. They came and got intrigued by the new smells, and it became that whole thing. So, but I'm back. Sorry to interrupt again so rudely. I feel terrible.
No, it's all right.
Yeah,
We're
I
just
also saw Cammy pop in and out about 78 times. So I'm sorry you're still struggling, lady. My God.
Trying to steal the limelight.
That's it.
Right.
I'm a attention hog. That's it.
That's what it is.
That's all good.
That's it.
You got it. You got it. You got it.
Never get enough.
So were you able to catch where you guys? Oh, I bet you weren't listening. We've been having some good little conversations about all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, Nuka's questions have really kicked us off into some really crazy directions.
Yeah, the parallel universe question, I think.
Yeah, I wonder how Nuka's doing. I haven't really been keeping too much of an eye on chat. I've been in and out. But I hope he's doing good out there. I know it was getting crazy where he was at one time. And I'm just hoping it's settled down some.
Yeah, I have hit and miss, kept up with it for a while after it really was crazy, and then he just hasn't sent me anything lately. So, and I haven't inquire. So shame on me as well. But definitely, it was pretty crazy over there with you for a little while there, Nuka. So as always, keeping you safe is a main concern, dude, in this crazy world right now.
I'm going to sneak off real quick just to grab a bite and come back in. I won't be long. Promise.
No, unacceptable.
We'll sit here quietly and wait for you, okay?
Everybody freeze. So I think yours is.
And then they did.
Zach gave. I was seeing who could go the longest without talking. That was you that you know.
I lost.
You lost. Again, not the good radio show game to play, but so much fun. I can outlast anyone. I'm tapped at this. Awkward is fun.
Now, what were you saying there?
I was saying that Cammy's system's working a little better without the video, I think, for some reason.
Yeah, and she has a wireless or a wired headset now. She was using the wireless.
Maybe the batteries were dead, is what it was.
They tried a couple different ones. And yeah, I know Jaron and Bob pretty much leave theirs on all the time, like charging.
Right. So they know they're going to use it.
Yeah.
Nah,
I don't. It's Cammy.
It's not the video at all. They do have me on wired right now. I had two different sets, different batteries.
Back.
And yeah, I can control it with this one right now, on and off, but I was completely wigging them out where both headsets were doing first audio on one side, then on the other side, going to both ears, and then the microphone completely cutting out. But I always heard audio. It was bouncing that, but yeah, I do that too. I pink screen computers also if I touch them and I'm using the keyboard that's physically attached like a laptop. I try not to because after I type a little bit, the screen gets a pink cast. I don't know. I wig out electronics everywhere I go.
Looking good now.
It's just yeah, but yeah, the
you're
camera.
a witch.
Is that what it is? Is I'm a witch?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think I'm a witch, but I do think that certain people touch things and zap them out, and I definitely am one of them. See now?
Yeah, have you ever seen that movie, The Men Who Stare at Goats, Mike?
No.
I did not watch that one with George Clooney.
It was really good.
Oh, you got to see that. That's how George Clooney got into like this. They called it the Star Wars program or the Jedi program or something like that.
It's about mind control, isn't it?
Well, it's about these people.
Remote viewing.
Yeah, that did remote viewing and they did all kinds of crazy stuff. But the military found him because he would walk by these computers and they would all glitch out. And his like the head commander called him in and he was like really into the paranormal and stuff like that.
He was like Purple Rain.
And he was like, "Son, did you make those computers do that? Glitch out like that?" He's like, "Yes, sir, I did."
Oh,
He's
shit.
like, "Why?" He's like, "Just to see if I could." He's like, "Far fucking out, man." And so he took him but he was in part of the program. And they say, like, I know it's a movie, but they say more of this movie is true than you could imagine. That this program really did exist, most likely, and they were doing all this type of stuff. And
I've seen a lot of that, a lot of the old footage of just different testing and different stuff, like with psychological stuff.
Yeah,
I met Courtney Brown and Ingo Swan at a UFO convention quite a few years back. The guys who basically were behind that program. About to go deal with the cats. It sounds like. Give me a second.
Yeah, my stepdad was in the military, and he said every once in a while these certain guys would come on the base. They weren't in military uniforms or anything like that, and their commanding officers would brief them on these guys. They said you were not to approach them. You don't. He said, don't even look at them. They're not even there.
Jeez.
And I bet they had something to do with that. They were something like that, like a special unit that was totally different. You know, they could have beards and mustaches and long hair, and yeah, they were different. It was like a different kind of military outfit. And that's what the whole movie's about that. But he supposedly stopped a goat's heart just by staring at it. And that's why they call it the men who stare at goats.
Well, I mean, the thing is I've always been extremely interested in the phenomena of staring at someone in a car or a restaurant and they look over. We have an energy and a communication system that we're not privy to. We don't know what it is or how to use it.
But it's there. You feel it. You definitely feel it when somebody is looking at you and staring you down. There is no doubt about it.
There is something there, and there's something about that we're not looking into far enough. Why aren't we looking into that?
We should be. Now, that was interesting, Zach, because I never thought about trying to control what I do with electronics and how I mess up computers, and it's never been anything far fucking out. In fact, usually, you know, it's a huge, huge annoyance. The things, you know, stop working, freeze up, and glitch out on me all the time. Again, it's not something that's usually cool. So maybe trying to direct it is a key in it. The closest thing to trying to direct it, which is not intentional, but the thing that's been repeatable and it has saved my hide time and time, and it's been repeatable over time, is like when I've sent an email where I've been furious and you just really write out what's on your mind. And that's not usually, you know, usually I sit and think and cogitate and work through things and look at it from different angles. But like every now and then you'll let it all go in an email telling somebody what the fuck you really think of them and why and what you're thinking. And that when I go to hit the send, I always freeze up the computer and it never goes. And in fact, my entire computer will lock. I'll have to reboot it and usually the email is lost. This has been repeatable time and time again. Like every time I've really written.
Are you saying that you haven't really like looked into what you're experiencing, or you haven't?
No, it just happens, and I say thank you, God.
You need because I feel something sometimes too.
Yeah.
I have this like energy rush over me when certain subjects are talked about, and I'm starting to learn what it means to me.
So this is the part of listening to. I didn't know it really meant something. Just like I took over the show again. Generally, I don't think it's all about me. So
oh, it's a great topic. I love that topic. I have something.
I've always been grateful. I've been grateful that I haven't sent these things because it's like, wow, that was really harsh and mean. It's mean things, you know, like when you write something mean and are going to send it. But yeah, this little energy glitch has stopped me from sending things angry, and that's a good thing. I mean, to me, I'm. Like I said, it saved my butt. So
mine isn't in the physical. It goes. It can feel a current running through my body whenever certain subjects are talked about. But it sounds like you're saying you can convert it into physicality.
It's if I touch electronic or light bulbs or things, they go. Right now, lately, I think we've been blowing out a lot of bulbs around the house. Something's going on. Sometimes of the year are more active than others, and it's been an active time lately. So we'll see what else I can blow out. Yeah, I bet you are.
Driving down the road, me and Michelle, and I'll be getting either upset about something or verbose about something, a topic, a subject, excited, whatever it is, and like 2 or 3 streetlights, you know, that way, that not just the next one, but it's like a circle. It's just like, what the fuck? Okay.
What the fuck? Yeah, those what the fuck moments. You're like, what is happening?
But that energy you're talking about, dude, it used to like drive me nuts because I would start talking about something and suddenly I would realize my ears would be just on fire. And if I happened to have a mirror nearby, they would be red. Like,
because I don't know what it is.
But I'm learning. Sometimes it's crazy, and it's interesting that it's again, it's I was never quite sure if it was everybody was happy to. People don't talk about this. We're not taught to talk about it, but it does seem to happen with a lot of people. I do know that I did. Bob's right. I had 2 different friends that, if anything, were worse than me as far as around electronics. And how they would affect it. And again, the same type of deals, and even lights in the rooms flickering and things like that. You get mad, the lights flicker. It's weird. We each have fields, and I think some of ours go a little bit more haywire, but it's I think right now we're being told to pay attention to it, learn what's causing it when we're talking about our emotions and directing it instead of just using our program responses to have a tantrum and get our way, or again push it through that way. There's some energy right now that's saying, look back, and am I really angry? Am I just angry because I've somehow let myself be programmed to go into that emotion? And then once I'm there, I can look at things around it and see the reasons why I am angry. Again, what got you there in the first place? Is there any good that's going to come out of it? And what kind of energy are you putting out? And again, so many people right now are going to the extremes on both ends of the spectrum. And I'm getting, again, this huge feeling just to evaluate everything before putting like bad energy out there and say what really, really is making me mad.
And the funny thing is, when you change over to that, you instantaneously ask those questions. It doesn't take you 5 minutes to ponder on it. You already know the answer.
Mm-hmm. And then it's probably time for somebody else to do this, but there's a song, These Hands, Jewel, that people are familiar with that song, but I keep on getting, right now the lines playing through the lyrics on songs. Not that one. Because I think this is a great line to do it. I just don't want to get it wrong. And I am messing up my computer right now while talking.
I know I had a relationship with a streetlight. Every time I lived out in the middle of nowhere, right? BFE, Indiana, surrounded by corn and soybean fields, just as far as the eye could see. And I'd be going home and it'd be like 11:15 at night, nobody on the road out there. And I'd be on the main highway there, 30. But there was a stoplight at this intersection where, what was it? One of the main highways, 421, ran north and south. And sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes when nobody was coming down 421, because you could see it for miles, it would still turn red on me. And I would get so pissed off at that stoplight that the street light across the street on the right-hand side, that very first one, would always flicker off. And I'd get like, a quarter mile down the road, I'd be looking in my rearview mirror and then it would kick back on. Now, I don't know if that had something to do with the electrical in there, because I don't know why the light would turn red at all in the first place. But because, they were all on sensors, and that was the main highway. The other one was,
especially at night, they have different timers at night too, to where the main roads always
stay green unless someone comes up. Yeah, that's how that light always was.
Yes.
But for some reason, every once in a while, it would turn red on me, like right as I'm pulling up to it. Oh, I'd get so mad. And every time that would happen, that light across the street would be like, bring, bring, bring.
What, when you got mad?
Well, yeah, whenever I'd get stopped there.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you just stop, and didn't you ever stop and wonder? Because I always took those when I hit a lot of stops to mean that I'm missing something. I forgot something back at the house, or something is telling me that. I've always, what you're talking about with the stop signs and getting caught at lights where they're not supposed to happen, I've always thought that meant I forgot something. And usually if I search for it, I can look for what it's trying to say. I think that's a direct sign. Don't, the way it comes down.
Signs. I used to not follow signs before, and now I do, and I love it. You got to follow the signs.
You got to follow the signs. I found my lyrics. I didn't want to get these wrong because they are so beautiful. And it was, if I could tell the world just one thing, it would be that we're all okay, and not to worry, because worry is wasteful and useless in times like these. I won't be made useless. I won't be idle with despair. I'll gather myself around my faith, for light does the darkness most fear. So those are the words, things that are going through right now, watching what's happening with the protests around in Brussels and Austria, down the road from here even. I'm proud of my state and my city, because Spartanburg, we have it beautiful here. We don't have any mandates. We don't have any masks. We've had complete freedom. and yet our people are at the hospitals. There are a few mandated, a couple specific large national chain hospitals, and our people are out there protesting, and that makes me very proud. They don't show it on the main news, but if you go into little local channels around, you'll see people are trying everywhere. And right now, again, it's not a time to worry. It's not a time to fear. That's useless. It's don't give into that darkness. It's time to not accept and time to be strong and follow those signs and follow the energy. And follow again, maybe this is why the electronics were trying to shut me down tonight. But yeah, tonight with the headphones, it's weird. Sometimes you feel with the light, it's there to remind you of something. Tonight, I almost felt like it was going to stop me from getting on the show tonight. And I felt I wanted to feel like I did something today because I had that lazy after Thanksgiving turkey do nothing day. And wanted to feel like I could at least, check one thing off of there. Yeah, it's like, you're not going to defeat me with the headphones. Screw that. So again, it's how you interpret the signs, I guess.
You got to watch the signs. I really like that because I was just, synchronicity is good, obviously, but I was just talking about that earlier today, is that I used to not see signs. Maybe they were there, or maybe I saw them and I didn't know what they meant, or I don't think it's like a decoding type of thing, but now it's so easy to see it. You just know what to do now.
It does feel like that. It feels like things are being more decoded now in front of you, listening to the music and the lyrics. Even in the songs, I was talking to Zach that maybe a fun thing to do would be to put out videos with like the meanings behind the lyrics that I think sometimes prescience. Are you guys familiar with the word prescience?
No.
It's a great word. It's spelled pre-science. And it's stuff that it's about the information that's already there, that's born with you, your prescience, an inner knowledge.
I love that. Like whether it's hereditary or what. Right.
Something that's outside of the learned, but an instinctual knowing.
Animals have it much better than we do.
We train ours away. We don't pay attention to it as right. So prescience, I think all of us are somewhat of channelers, meaning we channel the energy, prolific writers and storytellers. Where are the stories coming from? When these fiction writers like Nora Roberts writes hundreds of books, prolific, great stories, but it's almost like the same story of darkness and light, and which is again the same story again in Star Wars and in Star Trek and in the battle there. But where are these dreams and that coming from? So I think a lot of the information is written into songs and written into the books, and they're almost like a codex that is pulling out the right information out of it, and it's becoming decoded more easily by a lot more people right now. Interesting times
For sure. I think that what's happening is making humanity smarter in a way for the ones that can see, but the other ones are like lost, man.
Isn't it crazy how, and I'm not a Bible person, but there's so many things like in the book of Revelations that, and that was what, years and years and years, way after Jesus had already died. John supposedly wrote the book of Revelations. And a lot of the things he wrote about people with eyes to see and this and that, and, this happening, the walking, these people are like they're walking around dead. They really are.
I swear, I say zombies and robots. I've been using that term since the day I woke up. Before I really knew what it meant, it just felt like that, and so I use those terms. And now I know that everybody's using that term because that's exactly what people are doing.
And yet you can't play innocent, because right now we're looking around at all the old architecture and looking at the world. And even though, like in 7th grade, when they went into Egypt and ancient Egypt history and that, and the building of the pyramids and the slaves like pulling the little bricks, or again doing this stuff on that. It didn't. We as adults here, we sat there and we bought into this. Everything was right in front of our faces, all the architecture, the windows half underneath, the things that we're seeing right now and seem so damn obvious. Like we're not flying on a spinning water ball through an endless vacuum, which again, nature hates nothing more than a vacuum of space. I mean, it's so completely absurd and seems completely absurd. And yet 7 years ago, I couldn't reconcile a lot of the issues with it. I mean, I played and I challenged it more than most. I was trying so hard to figure out space weather and different things, and I could not reconcile it. And at that time, I honestly blamed it all on me being too stupid to figure it out. They programmed that into us too, that everything is so difficult and so hard to figure out. But again, when you stop and simplify and look at it, I think right now even we're all making it a lot harder than it really is. It's a great place to leave off and leave an awkward silence, like, here, pick that one up.
So what do you got planning in your plans, Mike? What are you thinking about doing next?
I got the flat chat is my idea. I'm trying to find either someone else with like-minded topics that wants to start a show and just get the community involved more. I want to go out and do some street activism. I got all kinds of stuff I want to do, and I really, really just want to help as much as I can. And like I said, I'm 3 years sober, so it's not just flat earth. It's not. I'm a truther all around, and I want to reach out to people and let them know that I'm here, so they can, they can ask questions. And I want to get a community going for that, for all truth, for addiction. And I think the Melodome has got kind of my same idea. So we'll see what happens. I'm real good friends with Austin in that, and maybe we'll collaborate it someday. But for now, I'm just going to kind of do shows like I'm doing right here with you guys. I mean, I'm having fun and just seeing what happens.
Well, that's awesome, man. Yeah, that's how I started out. I was just a guest on shows at first, and then the gentlemen here at IRM were so wonderful to ask if I joined them, and I was like, well, heck yeah.
No brainer.
And now it's like I could talk on. I used to get real nervous. I used to get real nervous calling them when they were on Ironworks. I can still remember all the butterflies I would get waiting there on hold, just like, oh my God, I'm going to be on the radio with these guys. And now none of that stuff even enters my brain. I was thinking about that today. Do I have the wits about me if this, to do it on like a big stage, like a real big stage? Would I be able to go out there and just talk like I normally do?
Hard question until you get out there, I think.
And see, if it was like face to face, a big, large audience, I'd say no, because I'm not used to that. But if it was doing this, I mean, I could talk pretty much on any channel, and I don't think my nerves would get too excited at all anymore. I'm so this is just this
has
is
it
life.
Taken a while for you
normal.
to get to that level, or
yeah, it took me a little while. I mean, when I first started jumping on with Glowbusters every once in a while, when they would have me on, I'd get real nervous. Things like, or Jaron, calling in Jaron's show and talking on his show, I'd get real nervous. Yeah, it's weird. I even the other day I got nervous calling into Awesome Austin's show, him and Christian on Melodome. I haven't had that feeling in so long. It's because I knew I was going to play my song.
Oh yeah.
I had saw that one guy just start playing, and I was like, I never got to play my song for Christian. I want him to do it. I want someone else to do it because I can't sing or play very well. So, but I want the words to get out there, that message.
I saw the chat. They heard you for sure. I was there.
Yeah, I just wanted the words to get out there. You know,
Yeah. That's what it is, man. That's exactly where I'm at right now. Is like I cannot draw, and I've always wanted to just get my words out. And now that I have something that when you find a passion in life, there's a couple things involved. You find something that you know so well, you can teach others. If you can use what you teach others to help others, and something you love. So this is it, man. This is my purpose in life.
Yeah, and it's a labor of love.
If you only watch Have No Sphere, then you probably will have missed the show I did last Sunday with Brendan Daly, The Rise and Fall. That one caused me a little bit of nerves. That was a form that I have never done before. There was one time on the Ironworks, I think it was on my birthday, I did a show by myself, but that was really just sort of, again, just winging it, and I could just recall memories, and it was just basically me talking about myself, which makes it a relatively easy way to fill the segments. But me sitting down one-on-one talking to somebody is a form I've not done. Everything else I've done has always been surrounded by men much, much smarter than myself, so that I can just ride on their coattails and let them carry me along. So here I was going to have to, try to make Brendan do all the heavy lifting. So it was kind of an unusual feeling, sitting down in my studio and being a little nervous, like, oh crap, do I have everything I need? Everything going to be set? Did I do enough prep work? What the hell is prep work? Shit. But it went really well. I suggest everybody go check it out. He was really happy with it. And I think Vanessa is going to have her hands full with the
amazing story that is just really getting started. I can't wait till you have him back on again now.
Yeah, I think I'm going to look. I know he's got like a pedal to the metal, just straight going to get it done, hoping to have it out by the new year type of timeline. When he asked me to do it, I wasn't expecting to even do it before the new year, just because I usually know how those things go. He probably had a whole lot of things he did to get into place, and got to cross his I's and dot his T's and make sure all that stuff's right. And then, you come and do this part and you get that, and then you move on along and you get all the other parts you need. Then you go into the post and you get it all 75% of it snipped off onto the floor, and you take the usable parts, and then you start. I mean, it's a whole process, but nope, he's talking about having it like done and released by the end of the year. I don't know. We'll see. I appreciate his optimism. But it really is.
I hope it worked out. Yeah, it was great, man.
Robert Page says my interview over there with Daniel Groth was pretty badass. If you guys check out our playlist called IRM Outreach, it's probably 75% of stuff that folks here in the realm have done on other shows. Yeah, maybe not even that much, maybe more like 60, because I'm just don't keep up on it. But I think at the very last one at the very bottom is that particular interview. It holds a special place in my heart, especially because of Robert Page, because Robert actually got to call in, and that was the first time Robert ever heard my crazy ass on any sort of platform, and was still nice enough to call in, and has been basically coming in to hang out with us ever since. But it really was a good one. It's called, I think, a Not So Flat Earth interview, or a Not So Flat Earth interview, or something like that, something along those lines, because it's basically me not being a very good flat earther because of various reasons that I can get into when you watch it, but it's really good. Yeah, I really do. That was a really fun one, because that was another one. It's not very often I sit on the other side and have someone even interview me. So it's sort of me in the hot seat versus me in the big chair. It really is kind of a different sensation as far as energies go.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen you be interviewed too much.
Yeah, not
You're usually holding the frying pan.
Well, and that's the beauty of it, is because,
which you should be.
Well, most people don't even know who I am. I think it's the way what it really boils down to. They might recognize maybe a logo or the name Iron Rail Media, but when you say Josh Corey, the who? I don't think I know him. And really, that's kind of the way I like it. I'd much rather have it that way than the other way around. I'd hate to have to go post somewhere under the name Globebusters and have 285 people tell me hello. Well, I would carry so much guilt on a constant basis from not being able to say hello to everybody that told me hello. I would have to learn to let that shit go. And the amount of things I would learn that I personally would have to learn to let go in order to function as a normal human being, I don't think would allow me the kind of personal interaction I get with these smaller numbers. I mean, that's exactly why I like it, because I'm able to interact with the audience. Because if it gets so out of control, I just, I have to shut it all off. So I'd rather be able to participate with very, very few numbers than I would to be able to have a great big audience, but not be able to participate with them, not be able to interact with them and be able to see Robert Page's message pop up in chat, because I know I have that relationship with Robert just because of that. So I'm much more down with our family than a huge, huge audience. That being said,
yeah, it's got to be hard.
Oh, I totally respect Bob and Jaron and everybody for being able to do it. Again, I would probably rather slink off into anonymity and oblivion than be a big popular show. That's probably true. If we got too big, I'd probably try to pull back and just do production and have somebody else try to hold the reins and see if I can't just do something behind the scenes, something a little less involved, so I don't feel so obligated, or so I could be more involved and not so involved in the running of the show. Somewhere where I could find a little better balance. But I do appreciate everybody that is here watching now live, and everybody that comes back and listens after the fact. Man, you guys just blow my mind. You really do. The fact that you guys come back here and do it, I so appreciate it, because like Zach said, it's a labor of love. And
that's why we get up when we do, 2 hours before Josh has to go to leave for work. He's getting ready on breaks and stuff like that in between, the show. It definitely is a labor of love.
Oh, thank goodness. This is like Superman and Clark Kent. Before Dave Weiss really got the messaging down, right down the street from me on my Friend Finder app, just literally right down the street, I could probably holler out Jess really loud, and Jess would answer. I have to yell really loud back, and we could probably communicate like that if we wanted to. That's how close we are. But she goes by JG because of her last name, Jess, and then her last name. You can find her on Facebook. It's whatever. But every time I see Jess on Dave's Friend Finder app, all I think of is Jose. I'm like, oh, there's Jose Gonzalez. No, that's not Jose Gonzalez. Jose doesn't live right down here by me, but that's what I think of every time. Oh, there's Jose. Hola, Jose. Nope, that's Jess. That's not Jose. And now in chat, I see both Jose, JG, and JG, who is Jess, hanging out right there side by side. Good shit. Speaking of,
they're actually having a debate over who's the authentic JG and who might be the hologram. Just saying.
Well, I have been on streams with Jose, but we should be having a meetup next Saturday, sort of out where I used to live in that general direction. And I'm pretty sure based on, I think she's going to need a ride. So Jess will be able to provide better proof of her authenticity and physicality than I think even Jose, with whom I have actually spoken and interacted with in that capacity. So I don't know. We shall see. But just a reminder there, Jess, I'm sure you've probably gotten a message from Kevin somewhere on that Friend Finder app telling you about the meetup on Saturday there in St. Charles. So just another reminder, if you need a ride, let me know. I'll be happy to swing through and pick you up. We'll go hang out.
And
Just
I
gonna
want,
yell out the window.
Pretty much.
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
coming.
I'm leaving. Be there soon.
y'all know that we could take a clip out of this and make it sound like you called Jose a girl. I'm just
Absolutely.
saying.
Oh, absolutely. Look, Cammy, here's what's great. For all the haters out there, we have like 6 years worth of weekly shows on our YouTube. I bet you if you could compile all those into individual words, you could make me say just about anything.
Oh, ain't that the truth? That's exactly how it works too. I know I
You've
got you
just
on that
given
one,
me an
Walt.
idea.
Just say it with us. It's fun to say. Plutonium. I always throw that one out there.
Speaking of flat Earth meetups, if anyone's in the Virginia area, we have a meetup on Monday, this coming Monday at 5 p.m. at the Porch in Virginia Beach, the Porch Restaurant and Boat Dock. Be there.
Nice.
How far
What
away
time
from
is that going to be?
Virginia?
5 p.m. Monday. Monday.
Truck rally. We need Walt to do his Monday.
Has he got one? Let me hear it, Walt.
Oh, he's got a great radio.
Come on, man.
I think he only does Sundays.
Yeah, it is
Sunday,
a Sunday.
Sunday?
Always.
What, for football?
Sunday. You got to do it.
Yeah, Mondays are hard, man. That's why they get paid the big bucks. Only the announcers for truck and tractor pulls are for Sundays. The football announcers, right? That's why they get paid the big bucks.
I was talking, Cammy and I were talking about that today. I'm a fan of boxing. I do. I don't ever sit around and wait for fights to happen live. I don't follow the sport. I know it's all rigged. But I like the art of it. And you can ask Cammy, I'm always watching old boxing matches. Some are newer, like a year old or this or that. Some are just happened, but I don't follow the sport so much, but I love the sweet science. You know, I don't know. I've loved it since I was about 18. And some of these announcers are so horrible compared to what they used to be. It's almost like they care more about what the person looks like and their political agenda than their knowledge of the sport. They have people talking about boxing that know nothing about boxing. And
Yeah.
it's so weird to me listening to old fights where you have these, at least one boxer and then two guys that were judges at one time or have been doing this for years and years and years. It
used to amaze me how much announcers, like the knowledge that they had of people, of players and their background. They would tell you what fucking elementary school the person went to and their friends and shit.
Yeah, now it's like a high school guy doing a game where all he talks about is the game, and it's a right and a left, and half the time they don't even get the punches right. It's like, that's not a jab, that's a right cross. Come on, what are you talking about? I just don't get it. But yeah,
It's
like they're trying to build a box with, again, that you need he was talking because it happened to be a female announcer that was really messing up. And the thing about it is if you go back and watch like 1950s TV and watch What's My Line and the different shows, you'll find out that there were women sports announcers, women governors, women doctors, women lawyers, women trash collectors, women everything in the 50s, the same as like there's always been good women scientists, Marie Curie. They talked about, Hillary talks about breaking that glass ceiling, and yet nobody mentions Queen Elizabeth is a little bit higher up than our president. There's never been, in other words, this is really, really created by them. Are the pay and things like that equal? Always no. Is the interest there for a lot of them to go there? No, a lot of women would be rather raising a family and doing other things, and perhaps sports casting, or again, calling a boxing match or a football match. But within that, you're going to have somebody that's passionate about it. You're going to have certain women that are, and they're going to find their way. If they're good enough and if they have the passion, they're going to find their way to the top of it. But right now, what we're doing is we're not finding people passionate in what they're looking for and doing. We're filling the box saying that we need a white female here to offset. In other words, we're playing the race card or the culture card in such a warped way, and wrong way, that it's taken the passion and the intelligence out of some of the sports. That again, if you assigned a woman there because she can study, do her homework, and call the fight and get most of the punches right and talk on it, but boxing really isn't her passion, again, a lot is going to be lost. And that's what seems to be happening with men and women alike, being put into the role of calling it without having the passion behind it, the intelligence behind it. And right now, it's almost like you're writing the passionate out of their roles and getting to play to be replaced with people stupider than them in order to fill out and check boxes. Just a thought.
Yeah, there's too much politics in everything right now. Don't they understand this? And I know there's an agenda and all that, but people don't watch sports to hear about people's political, opinion. Nobody cares what Troy Aikman's political stance is on anything. Talk about football. That's what you did your whole life. You played football. You've never been in politics. We don't come to watch football to hear about politics. There's politics on a channel 24/7 if we want to hear about politics. People go to watch that stuff to forget about all that stuff. And it seems like they've been politicizing, an agenda, at least in every sports now. Sports are dying.
It's a commercial. It's an advertisement for them because of viewership.
Mm-hmm.
So they use it to it's a biased opinion. It's just somebody controls it and they're using it to communicate. And they're forcing people to believe in what they're saying.
Yeah, what do? You tell a lie and then you repeat it over and over and over again. You get everybody to repeat it over and over and over again. And eventually everybody just starts believing it.
It's like it's slowly been moved into that, where like, just like you said, as long as they keep repeating it. And so maybe it started out where it was on one channel and then it's on 3 channels. And like we moved into the system. Like I said, my dad worked for Media General. Back in the day, it was 30 and 60 companies, man, that owned all these channels. Now it's 6 corporations. That's 6 people at the top who own these companies with a few other people, probably. You're talking a room full of people who get to control the information that's pumped into every single home in the world.
What they're doing is they're doing what I call the jewelry store mall strategy. And for those that don't know what it is, I'm sure it happens with other businesses, but I'm from the jewelry industry. And what they did at the malls is they would have 2 or 3 jewelry stores in the mall, but what you weren't looking at is that they were all still owned by the same parent. And what you do is you'd have something on sale with like items at 2 other stores, and each store would have certain items like that. they made their own competition in the mall. In other words, they made it so when you went from store to store to store, you would really feel that you got a great deal on this, like one item. But again, certain items were priced better in one store and then overpriced in others. And then again, if people bought it at the wrong store, but that way you could shop around, but it was all really the same big store, and it still is when you go to the mall. Look up the parent companies. So they're feeding you. That's what the Atlantic Journal like was saying 5 or 6 years ago on a long article I wrote, that they really felt, and this was hitting the big think tanks, that China really had it right on how they were controlling the media, and we weren't, and we were going through some dangerous stuff with people getting freedom, and that they were going to work on controlling. And again, if they can control the things that you choose between, just like on the free speech with Facebook, why everybody is getting pissed because their posts are getting deleted, they've turned it into a choice of or into the battle. They've changed the battle. They've changed the battle that Mark Zuckerberg and everybody is all doing it for the ads and isn't endangering the community by doing this algorithm. They didn't put the real fight out there in the media. They're controlling the narrative. They're writing their own story. And there's just too many people right now that are seeing through it. And so it gives hope. It gives hope with how many people, because again, the story is so damn lame. But the plan is yeah, if you write all of the choices down and have people pick between them, they have the illusion of choice. And remember, there are all kinds of choices outside the box that they're not giving you.
You're exactly right. It's not only the illusion of choice, it's a distraction as well. So they're using it's like a kill of 2 birds with 1 stone. They're killing 20 birds with 1 stone.
Yes, they are. They're doing it very efficiently with how they're putting so many distractions out. The Meghan and Harry, and trauma between, again, all the different side stories to keep you entertained. And that, again,
like I said, they're not going to show up at your door.
Right.
They're going to make you think you have the decision. They're making you think that what you're doing is right.
Right. But everybody really does know that when you go to sleep at night, coercion and choice are not the same. Just remember.
It's like the difference between knowledge and education. As we were saying earlier, just because you regurgitate something doesn't mean you're educated, or that you have your knowledge and education is completely different.
Oh yeah, it doesn't go hand in hand. You can learn all you want about how Peter Pan flies in Neverland, but I wouldn't call that knowledge. I'd call that you learning a fantasy story.
Yeah, you're just repeating something that somebody told you.
Think
That's
happy
exactly
thoughts.
a great way to put it if you really put your mind to it. Just because somebody told you that this is how space works, do you know that shit? Just because the cool guy named Buzz Aldrin told you? Is that really the reason that you know space is real?
Do you really think Buzz Aldrin is cool?
Exactly.
Good old Buzz.
Like, Jesus, man, wake up. It's sad, and that's why I've got to help people, man, because of how sad it makes. I cry just watching any of this crap that people believe in it. And knowing how the movie magic works is the key to it all. If you can see through the propaganda, if you know how it works, if you as Josh was saying earlier, if you figure out why would they lie to us? Well, figure out if they can lie to you. Can they lie to you? Yes. Why? That's the next question. But they are and can, and all of that. You've got to look into it first before you just say no, they're not.
Well, yeah, if you want to know why they're lying, you're asking the wrong person.
Right.
I'm
not here to teach you.
Don't ask me. Yeah, well, I don't know. I have ideas on why they would
That's
lie.
theory
but
again. We're back at
yeah,
theory.
you need to go to source for questions like that.
Right.
You need to ask them why they're lying to you. Don't ask me why someone's lying to you. Go ask that person. I don't know.
This is why I speak on flat Earth so much, is because it's not a faith, it's not a belief, it's something that you're fucking standing on. You can go outside, figure out how to fucking measure it your goddamn self. It's real.
Yeah, there was a guy. I told everybody at work, I was a flat earther. And this one guy, he was a nuclear engineer on a submarine in the Navy, and just real smart guy, real just very technical. Didn't watch television. Only, you know, he read a lot, but he was a smart guy, and we had a lot of interesting conversations. Not so much about flat Earth. We really only had one conversation, and I knew he was on. You know, when you get slapped in the face with it, the realization. Because all I had to do with this guy, he was so smart. All I had to do was tell him how much the Earth curved. I asked him, I was like, have you ever been, you know how much the Earth is curves in like 10 miles? Were you ever taught that in the Navy, or did you ever remember learning that in school? And when I told him it was 66 feet, he did not believe me. He thought I was making it up. And I knew he had AutoCAD at home. I was like, go punch it into AutoCAD,
Go
man.
punch in your little model.
Yeah, go punch it into AutoCAD, 24,901 miles.
When you can convince someone that you know more about what they believe in than them, that should break them right away. You know?
And he was, you know, he was technically, well, he was down to earth enough, and he didn't have an ego at all. And we really didn't talk about it too much after that, but I knew I had him right there. And I just looked at him, I was like, does that make sense to you? And any of your
do the math, goddammit. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I was like, you got Lake Michigan right up there if you want to go test it. I was like, I did. But don't tell me that the Earth isn't flat until you actually go and punch in the numbers and find out how much it's supposed to curve, and then go see if it actually does. After that, we could have a conversation. But until you do that, you know, you're going to have to settle this within yourself. If you really want to know, you'll go look.
Like Mike said,
and I can almost guarantee he did.
You know, if you, it makes you want to cry. You have to be able to stop and laugh about it, or get to a point where you can have at least a little bit of fun with it. Otherwise, it will just drive you absolutely crazy. And it's because you can have that fun, it helps you sort of then stay focused on, you know, where the fight really is. Which kind of brings me to this morning's guest from the Ironworks, Tommy, that fat fellow. Because what was it you called him this morning? The master curator.
Yeah.
He's bringing all of this really cool stuff together, and all of these amazing people together. And they're not going out there and just flat tapping people, flat smacking people. They're out there. I mean, they are, but they're out there also with signs and banners cleaning up the side of the road. I mean, they're out there helping. They're out there making the flat earth a better place. I mean, we're not making the world a better place. We're making the flat earth a better place. I'm not cleaning up my world. I'm cleaning up the flat earth. This was given to us. It's our job to keep it clean. If you fuckers won't do it, by God, I'll keep the flat earth clean. And I think that's really, really amazing. And all the stuff they got going on over there with the Kakalacky crew. And I do want to share that which was shared with us this morning. So I know I've got it around here somewhere. It was really, really good. I dug it.
It's time for a battle. Teacher versus student. Now listen here, Timmy. I want you to know the Earth is round and we call it a globe. We stick to the Earth because of gravity. It's what surrounds you and me. There's books and pictures for you to see. From outer space, Earth's round as can be.
Sorry, Mr. Roundy, but your pictures are false. Photoshop created by the click of a mouse. Those books you talk about are made for the sheep. All your science is just killing the trees. Page after page of fantasy, and the rainforest is your casualty.
Now, Timmy, those trees are cut for a purpose. I mean, just look at the Earth's surface. If you look out at the open sea, you can see boats disappear slowly. That's because of Earth's curvature. Because the world is circular.
Mr. Roundy, your eyes are old as shit, and that's something you need to really admit. So next time you stare into that ocean, take a telescope. It's like a magic potion. From there you can debunk your own words, and afterwards, you can stare at some birds.
Well, Timmy, that doesn't change the fact we have astronauts going round and back. They have live feeds, you can see their face, and there's a huge space station in space. What do you say to that, I ask? How do they pull off that task?
Mr. Roundy, have you ever heard of Hollywood? Check it out, it can do you some good. As for your space people, Dillio, why don't you have them zoom out the window? Let's see them focus on a plane in Australia. If it's flying backwards, is that strange to ya?
So who is that?
That is
Who does,
go ahead.
who does those?
So that is the Kakalacky crew. There's a whole list of them. If I could keep them straight, I definitely would. I know Dr. Law was in chat. I know Free Flow was in chat. I know Tommy was also in chat. Tommy hooked us up with this little preview for this video this morning when he was on. Look, they do some amazing things. If I didn't have a busted ass computer over here, I'd be playing some more stuff that they've done for us, but it's all still over here or not yet on this one. So as soon as I get it transferred, I'll be able to play it. But yeah, they do some absolutely amazing stuff. And oh my God, you can see what kind of videos I've been watching. Look at all my flat earth, all my First Amendment audits.
Doing a little bit of First Amendment audits there.
Yeah, that's pretty much all that I watch.
Me too. It's funny. I've been watching Jeff Gray since the day he started, and Batosai and all them.
Mm-hmm.
Driver versus whatever it is. I forget the name of the county or state. Driver versus Texas.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them. I started off on the right to travel videos, and then that got into go ahead.
I was just going to say Rogue Nation. That's one of the things he's doing now. He carries a little folder with a list of all the different court cases.
Yeah, case law.
That's what it's based on when you go to trial, whether you're going to win or lose, is if there's case law.
That's
Or else you're
exactly,
going to pay thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to make it a case law by going back to court over and over and over.
And that's exactly what I would do if I was a First Amendment auditor too. I would carry around a stack of fucking case law. Make sure that those cops are fully informed before they're making decisions.
They have made huge waves. I've been watching this stuff for 10 years, 15 years now. And when they started, like, you know,
it was
the
dangerous.
amount of corruption was incredible, but at least they're making waves because sometimes they go out and they don't get fucked with now.
Oh, the state of Michigan has just had 50,000 state employees trained on people's First Amendment rights now. They're tired of being sued for violating people's rights.
I think it's a great question to ask, like, everyone in the world, you know, do you even know your rights, and are you exercising any of them?
Because if you don't know them, you know.
That's what I ask a lot of people. I ask that people to their face. Do you have rights that you don't exercise? If
The
you
very
don't,
first one, like, do you even know? Like, you gotta know some of them. You know, I don't expect you to know it word for word, verbatim. But dude, do you even know what your rights as an American are? No, and that's what cops feed off of, the fact that you don't know.
And see, this is where I don't. Why one of the main reasons I am not like a First Amendment auditor, because that shit, that number one, that's not for me, right? It's not my First Amendment. That's the Constitution's not mine. It wasn't written for us. We the people are not writing the Constitution to other we the people. We the people are writing a constitution to the government in an attempt to remind the government that there are certain things that we just fucking won't stand for.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a zero tolerance policy. That's what the fucking Constitution is, zero tolerance policy.
Mm-hmm.
But they violated every single day of our lives, and they're taking away more and more rights as we stay asleep. If more people don't wake up immediately, or that's why I say we're doomed.
Yeah, I think it's happening, man. I don't want everybody to all wake up at once. I don't think that would be good. I think we talked, or who was I talking about?
Yeah, it was with me.
Yeah.
We were saying that the mass shift would be too much anger.
Mm-hmm. At one time, yeah, it'd get real ugly real quick, I think, and it would just look bad. It would be bad. I think a nice slow grassroots, everybody come into it at their own pace.
Earlier today, I saw a picture of the Woodstock, and it's like acres of people, less than 2 feet apart, less than a foot apart. Your blankets like touching other people's blankets. Who cares, right? Like, what up, man? You need some food? You need to smoke this joint? What's going? Like what's up? That's when everybody was love and peace. There's no profit in peace. Okay.
No,
the war machine has to keep on turning.
To the war machine.
War machine's got to keep turning, dude.
$20 billion they added, more than they give right around what they give NASA. They added to the military budget.
Are you kidding me?
Which is like 780 billion now.
And I just learned the other day that the NASA budget was like 3/4 of the fucking federal budget anyway. And it's like, what? What are they smoking? They've just like slapping us in the face and literally bending us over.
That 3/4 is high. It's not that much of the budget, but they do spend an absurd amounts. And
yeah, I wasn't sure on the actual number, but yeah, it's just like that should be red flags all day long. When this is a public entity, public information, public knowledge, but nobody gives a shit.
Well, no, because they're scientists in white lab coats with pocket protectors and a calculator. Why would they lie, right?
Oh, because they spent 20 years in school, taught by the same people who fucking lie.
But space is cool.
We give some of these people way too much credit. I think NASA, when they do their hiring, they probably don't look for the smartest and brightest. Now when they outsource, they do. Like the machinist, they want a good machinist making their parts. But when it comes to telemetry data and all that kind of nonsense, I don't think they care if they're smart or not. Actually, the dumber, the better.
Have you seen the video of the telemetry data guy that supposedly, like, when they went to go do a documentary, the guy that runs the archives is like, yeah, even if that shit exists, well, I don't know where it is. He seems to be intelligent enough to run the archives, but
no, he said that even if they could find it, they don't have the equipment that could play it back anymore. That technology is gone. It would be painful process to build it back up. It's like going to space. In the different little technical aspects they do, and again, they'll tie people up. They'll tie the brightest mind up with doing the impossible puzzle on how to reconcile the globe flying through space to reality. And again, it's an impossible puzzle. So you pick the brightest minds, you say, this is your baseline puzzle, solve it. And, they have to create dark matter, dark energy, all of the different things. It's an impossible game. And they're trying to do, again, we know through planet orbits the computers can't handle.
The 3-body problem. I say that as my argument to everyone about space. You solve the 3-body problem and we'll start talking. Until then, shut the fuck up.
Right, but they take the brightest minds and put on this like impossible puzzle that can't be solved because it's not reality. But again, if you put the baseline in, again, you can tie them up. But yeah, it's just part of the distraction on that. And this right now, what you have is the people, the bright minds that they've tied up with the big baseline. They've got their entire lives experience and journey vested in all of their school, all of their school loans, all of their debt repayment and everything based on like what they were taught was correct. And so they're going to have to dip and dip. But again, I'm hoping that this group of people too can see what they're doing with the vaccines, with the world in general, as far as what they are now. The big word that they're using in the media, the hot word, is reset. It's not going to go back to the old. That's is a reset to a new, better way of doing things. But I'm hoping enough people can shake off their pride and what they've had invested to really look what's going on, because right now it is a time of change. It's upon us. There's no getting around that right now. And you're right, people are waking up in waves. The waves have to happen. The energy, the dark energy that would take over with the anger, especially when our the professionals, people that have so much invested in it. Think about it. Think of all of the money that you would have spent, all of your college loans, all of those hours and work, all of your energy going into something that if we gave it to them on the flat earth model with the right data, they probably could have solved, in a few weeks or something like that. With these minds going, there's going to be some anger there. There's going to be a lot of anger there. And as far as the people that they hire for NASA and that, again, those people, again, the way that they time it's there, but where they get the flaky ones is the astronauts. I mean, look at some of the stories going on the news. The one that had the 3-way love affair and drove in how many hours in diapers and da 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 da. When you look at the astronauts and who were sitting up in space, remember, these are supposed to be the finest of the finest of the finest, the brightest. We all went to schools and have gone to the mall even, or to the store. We see that these people that they're putting on saying, look at my hair pointing up. This is not the brightest. They're not the most emotionally stable. They're not the most professional. That's again, it's a pick and choose where you want to hire the stupid employees, and the stupid employees are the emotionally immature employees. Again, I think they capture that, Josh. I think they go after a profile. I think they do. They intelligently profile for that.
Having a twin helps too.
Having a twin helps a lot.
I believe I can fly.
Exactly, Ian. One word. Don Pettit.
That dumbass. I hate that guy.
David said he's the only astronaut that's not lying. He's just retarded. He actually believes he's in space.
He thinks he's in space right now.
Yeah.
You can see all the stars. Oh, wait, can you see the star? Yeah, you can see the star.
The Magellanic Cloud.
The
Right,
oh, yeah, I forgot how to say it. that interview, and I show my friend, right? And I'm like, watch their eye language. They need each other's agreement by eye contact in order to say the next word. Watch closely. Like, if anybody watches that clip, you just watch their body language. Watch them look directly at. They have to look. And when you're on camera in an interview, you should know that shit should be popping off the top of your head. They have to look at each other and be like,
make sure they're saying the right
stars? Thing. Okay.
Let me look at my partner and make sure he's going to say the same thing I'm going to say.
Correct.
Too bad they didn't make him watch older videos of other astronauts saying the exact opposite. Yeah. And now they're saying the exact opposite of what these other astronauts are saying.
Assholes.
I'm sorry, what was the question? Line? Can I get a line? No, you cannot see the stars. No, I mean, yes, you can totally see the stars.
That's later. That's line 3.
That's my answer to your next question.
Right. Well, yeah, this is scripted. The whole fucking
end up all Bill O'Reilly. Oh, fuck it, I'll just do it live then.
Because we didn't fucking go there, little girl.
Yeah, because we didn't go, and that's just how it happened.
That's just what happened.
Yeah, but there's another one, the finest of the fine. Got all the right stuff.
He's getting old. When they get old, you see them lose that guilt. They get the guilt going.
They should feel guilty.
Yeah,
Neil
they're fucking
Armstrong, I mean,
ruthless. They are ruthless, let me tell you.
right after, what was the interview? 3 weeks later, I would have still had a stiffy. If I would have been the first guy to go land on the moon and then come back and,
They're all sad.
Yeah, they look like they just killed somebody's dog or
They
stole money
did.
out
They
of
just
some old
killed
lady's
humanity's brain.
I'd still be getting BJs under the table with a smile on my face from ear to ear.
Yeah, it's just so obvious.
That's what I mean. The obviousness of it is just ridiculous now. And we're in space every other day. Oh, we're sending a rover to Mars. Oh, we got Jeff Bezos. Oh, William Stein. Oh, gonna go to the moon again. Oh, he's fucking go back to Mars. Oh,
Yeah, one of the Bezos guys that was on the first flight, he died, and not the old lady either.
Murdered.
Someone was mentioning that in chat. I thought we were high enough to see the whole world, but oh, that poor lady. I'd be pissed spending all that money thinking you're going to go see something. I mean, I'm sure it is pretty spectacular if it actually took place. To go up that high,
I'm sure
it'd be pretty cool.
That you can go up really high. I get it. And yes, it is spectacular. I've been in many planes. A plane is fucking high. They go way up above the clouds and they go mad high.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
It's 10 miles up there. I always sat in the window seat. Yes, it looks cool as shit. But they're not seeing anything that we haven't already seen. They're not breaking any records or anything, man. That's the problem I'm having. They're just making you think they're going to space.
I was looking at my new weather app on my new phone because I have a new phone.
Saying space, 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 space.
What were you saying, Cameron?
Sorry.
No,
I was looking at my new weather app on my phone and learning how to use my new phone. And so I have a new weather service that gives the visibility on there, and it was like perfect visibility. You can see for 10 miles. And it didn't listen. Yeah, no, listen to this perfect visibility. So now we know how far we can see. I always wondered, but perfect visibility, according to my new app from Apple, is 10 miles. What another one of those mysteries solved.
Yeah, I've done so much on the meteorological optical range, because I wanted to apply weather into that equation that I wrote.
And all you had to do was get a new app, an app that would just say perfect visibility 10 miles.
Yeah, that's as far as they can measure accurately. And it's still only about 70-80%, somewhere around there, accurate at 10 miles. They can't really measure the atmosphere any further than that real accurately. Yeah, that's why I didn't even try. I wanted to try to put atmospheric, effects and use the meteorological optical range because it goes from 0 to 10. And 10 is you can see perfectly clear at 10 miles. They say it'll go up to like 30 miles, but what they can actually measure only goes up to about 10 miles. They have other ones, they say that they're measuring 30 miles and 40 miles away with microwave this and that, but they're like 30 to 40% accurate. So are they really measuring anything? I mean, it's going to take time for that stuff to come around. But yeah, they just can't. Anything beyond 10 miles they don't have devices that can measure the opacity of the air accurately, which shows you how very little we know.
At sea level, you're saying?
Yeah, that's anywhere. Meteorological optical range.
It's dynamic
Yeah, you can go look these up. Every place that has a lighthouse or a big body of water,
right,
they'll have these for those areas, because seeing, it tells you how far away you can see land. Like if you're 10 miles away and you can see the land, that's a perfect day.
Well, the ships, people who navigated ships back in the day must have known this for days. for hundreds of years.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Like a
Thousands.
zero is 50 feet. The fog is so dense that you can't see 50 feet. So you don't go and try to port a big, huge, giant vessel when you can't see like that. You
Right.
want it to be a good visibility day to do these things. So yeah, they probably knew more about that kind of stuff than we'd know now. Without computers and this and that, they probably just
Stay
had it in
tuned
their
to the end
brain.
because I'm
I think the worst thing of our generation is the fact that when Google first came out and you searched for something, you could find whatever you wanted. You typed it in specifically, found something that someone else typed in also. And like Josh said earlier, I was laughing my ass off at the end of the show from this morning. He's like, yeah, oh, you're the first person to type that in. And no one's ever tried searching for that before. And it's just like, Jesus, man, it's so tough for people to find information on this stuff because they're not allowed to. Fahrenheit 451, man.
Well, yeah, there's, that's a scary thing about all this technology. It's great when it's used properly, but when it's used as a weapon,
A psychological weapon at that. It's not, and that's
yeah,
the
it's
scariest part.
propaganda. Yeah, it's not a physical weapon. It's shaping people's minds.
A whole generation of people, entire societies have changed due to the television hypnotizing them into believing what it's saying.
And it's even designed. It's not even hidden. They have flicker rates and this and that and certain colors, and they do put certain stuff up there, and it makes you fall into a trance.
All by design, and again, every time you have any flat earthers, you have them looking up at the skies for the first time and noticing, oh my gosh, you can see the moon up at the sky at the same time as the sun. And guess what, people? This has been going on your whole life, and you just haven't been looking up. What is wrong with that? What is wrong with that?
Like when
We used to
Kamala
know these
Harris
things.
was telling those children, you can see the craters of the moon with your own eyes. It's like, yeah, no shit. Look up. You always have been able to. You can see the craters of the moon.
Now we have the phones keeping our necks downward. We don't even look straight anymore, let alone up.
Yeah.
It takes so much effort to lift your neck to look up now because your neck is locked in a position to look down at your goddamn phone or your desk for your fucking little cubicle.
Going back to song lyrics again, you have, if you open your eyes for me, you won't rely on other eyes to see. Name that tune, Walt.
Oh, I know that song.
Come on.
I love me some Queensrÿche.
Mm-hmm.
Silent lucidity.
This is a good line. Yeah, you got to open. First step is open your eyes, and I guess go through the anger. But the good news is when your eyes are open and you actually start looking around, if you do it right and pull away from the computer and go outside, they'll see what a beautiful place that they're hiding from you by keeping you locked to the TV and the computer screen. So it's hard to stay angry when looking at the beauty and seeing how it really does work out there. Just a little bit of hope, people. There is hope with all the doom that we're giving and things that are going on and the choices that people have to make. More than anything, there's hope.
Plenty of it. And that's why I always say reach out, because when I felt alone, that was such a scary time. Now that I know that this community's here, it's gotten so much better. Like just the day it started, since the day that I got to meet somebody else who was a like-minded individual and that knew the truth. And it's been nothing but up from there. So reach out, if you feel like you're alone, find another flat earther, message somebody on Facebook, do what you got to do to connect with somebody who knows what you're going through.
Absolutely.
And people are going through a lot right now. They really, really are. So, yep, it's a time of hope, a time to rebuild, and a time of patience. I'm already hoping for spring.
Yeah, patience is key too, man. Throughout this whole journey, that's one of the biggest things I've learned to be able to do. That's why I say the self-control thing is patience. Nothing's going to happen today. Learning about things takes time. Life is a journey. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Everything is patience. And when you learn, that's why I say, like, with being able to not see things in a negative manner is being able to be patient. You're going to need to be patient.
Patience is a virtue. Came from somewhere very, very smart. It helps with everything. It really does. Hey, Zach, did you notice up there in the chat that when you're talking about doing your song and maybe Christian doing it, that my husband offered to sing it if you do the guitar work, and that'd be something that I would love to hear.
Creation.
For those that don't know it, very few people are aware of it. My husband's got a fabulous voice. I love it when he sings. He needs to do it more often. We all do. Except for me, because I don't have a good voice. I'll listen and not along.
Yeah, we could definitely do that. I don't know. I'm going to have to practice my guitar. It's been a long time since I've been able to play a whole song without messing up.
Well, you mess up, still can add a little bit of charm to it. That's something, a good lesson that people need to learn sometimes too is the little glitches add memories to it, part of the learning.
Yeah, no. Every time I hear Little Boxes when Josh would play that, I cringe. It's just like, oh my God, I can't believe I let him hear that.
Brendan was describing to me the intro that he's got for the Rise and Fall. And his basic description is how I describe the show, sort of. And it's that perfect imperfection. Like if you hit every one of those notes just perfect on that little boxes, it'd be cool because it'd be technically proficient, but I don't know that I'd like it as well. As much as I really dig the version that I have that makes you cringe.
Right.
Oh, there's some really, really bad ones in there, though.
No,
I mean,
it's beautiful.
Some of them are okay. They do make it sound nice, but some of them just make me want to
Zach,
throw.
I'm the
my
same way.
headset.
That's me. You're describing me, not just your song, me. If you can accept me for all those horrible little things that you'd like to be able to throw out of there and still find, but it's still worth keeping around. I think you could do it with little boxes too. It's the same thing. It's those perfect imperfections that allow it to keep it individualized so that we know it's you. It's not some AI robot able to hit every perfect note. We know that's Zach. That's how we like it.
Yeah, it just drives me nuts.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't be drove nuts by it. You should listen to it, smile, and know that you probably learned to make sure not to make this mistake in that same place on the song again. I bet it won't happen again. In other words, you're just marking part of the journey where you learned the part and you got it down. Because I'll almost guarantee you know where you messed up there. If you played it again, that's not going to happen. Is that right, Zach? You did little boxes. Yeah. You practiced through that one area a lot, haven't you?
It was the one that Josh plays. That was the third day that I was playing it. I just learned it, and but no, there's just
part of the memory into it.
Some of them I do. Like, there's some of them that it's like, wow, yeah, that part's pretty cool with that little hiccup right there. That's okay, but some of them are just like, almost hurts when I hear it. It hurts my ears. Well, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
No,
well,
I
the
do. That's
third
why I'm
day of
laughing.
learning
I
is sometimes
understand
rough.
both sides of this coin. Trust me, I know exactly what you're saying, but I also know the feeling I get when I hear your song. So,
yeah, just hearing your own stuff not done.
Yeah, it's painful sometimes.
To the way you want it to be. Yeah.
You said it was your third day of the song, and really when you're on the third day of anything, when you go back in time and look at it, you're usually pretty rough. And maybe it's like a reminder to appreciate how far we get from, like, through time on the journey from that third day. I love it.
Oh yeah,
I like
well,
the version makes me smile because it makes me know you're fearless to try anything and learn anything and do the journey. I mean, I love that. I'm too scared to sing in front of people other than you and my son, who tells me not to. And my husband, who tells me not to. Zach, you're just too polite. I mean, I I can't. In all fairness, I can't carry a tune. I'm awful. I don't like listening to myself. I want to sing. Not everybody. It's a gift. Not everybody can carry a tune, and you got to have people like me, so you have contrast to recognize what's truly, truly good. And I set that bar pretty low. But I love the skill and I love the bravery on doing things. And right now you've improved and gotten better on it. But again, trying new things and going in different directions. It's all part of the journey and getting there. So
I can add in on that. Yeah, that's how I started doing the memes. Is I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I wanted to do it. I wanted to get my message out. So to anybody who's out there that might think that there's a skill they want to try their hand at, but they're a little nervous, screw that, man. Just do it. Please do not think about what other people say or do. Relying on the opinions of others is going to hold you back, man. Be you and do what you love.
You rely on the opinions of other people, you only get as far as the baller.
Yo,
Mike, remind everybody.
You won't be laying on your deathbed going, damn it, why didn't I listen to what they
Exactly.
said?
No regrets.
Remind everybody where they can find some of those memes that you'd like to put out there too, Mike.
I'm on Facebook on Mike. I'm Awake LaBrash. You can go check out all that. That first account is banned. And then I'm on the second account, which is Mike. I'm in Facebook jail LaBrash, which is also on a 30-day ban. And the last account that I'm on is FB Facebook jail blows cockamamie. And that will be the only account that's not banned right now.
Because I wasn't sure exactly which one to put up there, all I did was put up the YouTube channel because I
You
wasn't
must
sure.
be doing something right, Mike.
And I want to give Nemo a quick shout out too. I know he's got to run.
Yeah, take care, brother. Love you, Nemo.
Yeah, it was good seeing you.
good night, Nemo, or good day.
Later, Nemo.
So I think I'm going to have to wrap this up. Otherwise, we'll just sit here and blather
Yeah.
on all night long.
3 hours
Sun
plus
comes
at this
up.
point, huh?
Right about. I am trying to keep them 2-3 hours at least ish. Although I still couldn't believe Brendan and I went for 3.5 just for that conversation, because that's another one that just flew by. It seemed like nothing.
That was a great show, by the way.
Yeah,
My
I
mic
had
was
to
out
go
on that. It
back
was
and finish
great.
it. It was too late for me. I fell asleep while I was listening to it. I don't know how I did either with all the stuff he was saying. So yeah, I was just that tired. And then I woke up and I was like, oh shit, what happened? That was the first thing that popped into my head.
Yeah, I really am looking forward to what's next as well. So yeah, everybody, go over there, head over to Flat Chat with Mike LaBrash. The YouTube channel is linked in the show description. And if you would, while you're here, go ahead and give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Hell, give us a thumbs down, because fuck it. Take away my thumbs down. I have dedicated trolls that come through, and almost every single week will give me a thumbs down, and YouTube wants to take that away from me.
They
bullshit.
were dedicated, damn it.
They were
dedicated.
There's very few videos that don't have at least one thumbs down. And most of it comes like right as the show ends or right there during the show.
They really love those balls, man.
They come here just to give me the thumbs down. That's the only explanation.
You try to take away their balls.
What a bunch of bastards. Yep. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to do it. We're just going to get the hell out of here. Otherwise, I'll end up playing clips all night anyway.
Love y'all.
Love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. This has been the Have No Sphere. Our guest tonight was Mike LaBrash. Make sure you do head on over to their YouTube channel. Give it a subscription. Make sure you hit that bell notification, because once he starts going, man, I bet you he's going to catch like wildfire. So get on board early so you can be claim you were there first, because that's a thing. There are people that like to do that. I know. Look, Walt's drowning in pussy. All right.
Good one.
So bad.
But,
Peace out, everyone. Go ahead.
Thanks for being on, Cammy. Nice talking to you.
Love you guys. Thank y'all.
Great getting to meet you. I'm sure we're going to run into each other a lot more coming up.
Yeah.
So welcome.
Thank you very much.
Take it easy, Mike. Good
Later,
chat,
Zach.
man.
Always a pleasure, dude. I'm sure I'll see you soon.
Yeah, love you, brother.
Later, guys.
Yeah, hit me up if you once you get your computer hooked up, and we'll see about getting your mic and everything reconnected. Make sure it's all squared away, sounding good, looking good, all that good shit. I'd be curious.
Yeah, man. I'll be on
improves.
tonight if you're still up. If not, hit me up tomorrow.
It'll probably be tomorrow, because again, I've been up since about 3
Yeah, I know
a.m.
you've been on your show. Yeah.
Super
early. You guys super early. So props to you guys. Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, it's not too bad after the first couple of years. All right. Love you guys. We will see you back here next week. Be good. Be well. Bye-bye.
Adios.
And don't forget to have fun.
Stay flat.
Little boxes on the hillside. Little boxes made of ticky-tack. Little boxes on the hillside. Little boxes all the same. There's a green one and a pink one and a blue one and a yellow one. They're all made out of ticky-tacky. They all look just the same. And the people in the houses all went to the university, where they were put in boxes. They came out all the same. And there's doctors and there's lawyers and business executives, and they're all made out of ticky-tacky. They all look just the same. And they all play on the golf course and drink their martinis dry. They all have pretty children. The children go to school, and the children go to summer camp, and then to the university, where they are put in boxes. They come out all the same. And the boys go into business and marry and raise a family in boxes made of ticky-tacky. They all look just the same. There's a green one and a pink one and a blue one and a yellow one. They're all made out of ticky-tacky. They all look just the same.